I'm Nichole Goodnight. I hope everyone's having a wonderful day, evening, night, wherever you are. We have a very packed schedule this evening, for me at least. Evening, that is. For everyone, it's packed. We are going to be watching a game that I've been had the pleasure of watching the past 30 minutes or so, and it's... I'm excited. I'm very excited for this run. But first, I have a very quick announcement. GDQ's next all-women and femme speedrunning event, Frost Fatales 2025, will be live from March 9th to the 16th, benefiting the National Women's Law Center. Visit gamesdonequick.com/framefatales for more information on the event, or you can use !FF in Twitch chat. Check out the schedule. And with that being said, we're going to dive right in because, like I said, we have a very jam-packed day today. So, Wazip, go ahead and take us away into Barnyard.
All right. Hello, everybody. I am Wazip, joined by my co-host, Randy.
Hello, I am Macho Fish Randy.
And this is Barnyard, 2006 licensed Nickelodeon video game. And as you can see by the estimated time, this is going to take a long time. So we're just going to get started here real quick. I'm just going to go on, we're going to go on go. So 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so one of the main things about this game is that it is an open world game basically kind of like sorry, I am already skipping over my words. Just like the GTA franchise, another game that's usually compared is the Bully franchise as well. It's very similar in the sense that you're going to be walking around doing missions, talking to a bunch of different animals around the barnyard. And one of the first glitches we're going to do here real quick is a nice little animation skip. We're just going to jump and we're going to do our interact key as we fall. That will skip picking up the rock. As well, we're going to collect at least 5 apples, as we will need 5 for the entirety of the run. And we're quickly going to enter the barn here real quick just to collect some butter. We have a guy named Pig who's basically a glutton and enjoys all of his food that you can find around the barnyard. So we are just going to collect some items for him before we go talk to him. Another thing about this game, during the loading screens, for the most part, I am going to be buffering my movement, so during that load screen, I was holding W and the shift key. That way, I can just, right off the bat, on the first possible frame, go forward, basically. And one of the items that we do need for Pig's first mission is actually a flour sack. We ended up not getting it out of the first one that we picked, so hopefully we get one here. Okay, thank God. Yeah, usually if you don't get it out of the first 4 flour sacks, it is a reset, or in this case, since we're going to be doing one run today, we would simply just be going over to the flour sacks off to the left over there.
And we get
to
talk to Pig count of 4 times here, so a lot of dialogue.
Oh yeah. One of the main things about this game as well is the amount of dialogue that you have to go through is too much to count. So luckily we do have 2 keys that we can spam during these dialogues that will make it so that we can quickly get through it. But basically this mission, Pig is going to have us bake an apple pie, so we're quickly going to go to the kitchen.
I'm bacon.
We got the I'm bacon voice line. That is the best possible voice line you can get when you enter the kitchen. Let's hope we get the good one when we exit. Oh.
Time to go to work.
And we got time to go to work, so basically it's a 1 in 3 chance that you get the best possible voice line. We got one of them, so we're actually pretty lucky today. Doesn't always happen. And that's another thing about this game, a lot of RNG throughout the entire run. And I'll mention it when we get to the specific points where there is a ton of RNG. One thing you will notice in terms of the UI is that there's a clock in the top left. So this game actually does have a day and night cycle, and we're going to be using that day and night cycle as efficiently as we can. For the most part, when there's no missions to do during the day or the night, we're simply just going to go straight to sleep, which will give us the next mission for the next day. And then another thing in the top left as well is the 5 blue bars that you can see right now. And those basically are our stamina bars, and we're going to try to manage our stamina as best as we can throughout this entire run. The items that we just got from that little mouse guy is the sunglasses, and those sunglasses basically allow us to squirt milk as as a form of defense against intruders. So Otis here, our iconic character from the franchise is basically having us use our milk real quick here to squirt 6 animals. While we did that, I did pick up a flower. We're going to be picking up a ton of items throughout the entire run that will basically that we will basically need at a later mission. And the flower is one of those important items. There is like a bit of a reroute you can do if that the community came up with, where you basically pick up this flower at a later point. But in terms of my routing, I usually like to pick it up pretty much right away. So Ben here, he is basically going to have us do what's called a sharp squirter, as you can see at the top of the screen. And that's basically this mission's basically gonna have us practice using our abilities to squirt milk as efficiently and precisely as possible. And I'm actually I'm gonna go for a nice little trick here real quick. I'll explain it if I'm able to get it.
There it is.
Using the aim key, and that basically allowed it so that I'm able to hit 2 cans that are basically across the barnyard. So that was actually like the best possible instance of sharp squirting that I could have done there.
Be careful.
Okay, and now we are quickly gonna go over to Pig here. He's gonna have us do a mission that used to be RNG hell, to say the least. Nowadays, it's actually pretty much a coin flip in terms of how much time you can save. So what we're going to do is we're going to quickly alt-tab when the pipe goes up to these pigs around the pen. And what that basically does is it lowers your frame rate by a ton, and it makes it so that the pigs cannot kick and they cannot jump at all. And it basically allows you to finish the mission a lot quicker than we used to be able to, because we used to just hope that the pigs were basically going to get hit the first time around. But as you can see, we finished this mission very quickly. Not a lot of problems there.
Yeah, before it was solely pure RNG on how fast you'd be able to do this little mission, and yeah, alt tabbing was a great discovery and made it actually consistent to get through.
All right.
Yeah, that alt tabbing trick was found by one of our head modders, Infinite Core. So shout out to him for randomly coming across that glitch one day, and now we're able to just simply alt tab real quickly and knock those pigs out as quick as we can. Okay, so this mission, Hannah, the hen that we just talked to, basically just lost all of her eggs around the barnyard, which is such an irresponsible thing to do as a mother, you know. So we're quickly going to grab 10 eggs that are around the barnyard. And this gate over here, we're going to quickly open with a nice little animation skip. The animation skip was actually found on that gate. Back when I was grinding a little category called Night Barn percent, that's basically just like a cheat percent for this game. But yeah, this is a pretty straightforward part. We're basically just going to do our best to use stamina whenever we have it available. That way we just get nice little speed boosts whenever. And we're going to quickly pick up these flowers as well, also doing the animation skip while we do it. And that was fairly clean. Sometimes you're able to get 2 in 1 animation skip. So basically you can pick up 2 flowers at a time, which is obviously very efficient and very speedy. But unfortunately, I was not able to get any there. And the next mission that we're going to do, so as you'll notice, there's some missions where you simply just talk to some animals. You have to do those missions no matter what. They're not side missions. Anyways, Otis is going to be giving us the bike, actually, and the bike is arguably the most important item that you will be receiving in this game, as it will get you from point A to point B very efficiently. As well, there's a ton of tricks that I'm going to be doing throughout the entire run, as well as well, that was a bit sketchy. But there's a ton of tricks that I'm going to be doing throughout where I basically try to conserve stamina as best as I can. Stamina management is one of the huge things about this game. And one of the upcoming tricks is actually going to be called Jersey Cow Squirt Skip. And basically what we do with this trick is that we basically shoot up straight into space. We get on top of the barnyard, on top of the ceiling of it, I should say. And then we ride into an out-of-bounds area. Normally, you'd have to go all the way around to the pond, otherwise known as Dinkweed Pond. But instead of going all the way around and going there to squirt the Jersey cows, we're simply just going to stay out of bounds and get them from the walkable area that the developers left for us. So thank you, developers, for that. Sweet. First try. Not a very hard trick once you get it down, but it definitely takes a while to learn it. But yeah, we're just going to shoot up straight into space, hop off our bike here real quick. We're going to quickly put on our glasses. And the Jersey cows are going to be right over here for us as well. Oh, wasn't able to get them first try. Hopefully the second try is better. Okay.
There we go.
Yeah, sometimes it's a little finicky in terms of actually hitting them, because the entities that they are leaning against, which are trees, are still, like, spawned in, basically. So you have to hit them at a certain angle in order to actually squirt them. But we're going to quickly hop on our bike, and as you can see in the minimap in the bottom left, there's no yellow arrows pointing us in any direction. So we're simply just going to go to sleep right away. Which leads us to the night
My favorite mission.
time, which actually houses our pretty much the bane of every speedrunner's existence when it comes to this game. Basically, we're going to be playing a game of pool. The second person we talked to in this game, Duke, the dog that was sitting on the front porch, he's actually basically the bane of our existence for this entire run, as he has two missions that are very RNG based. So we are going to do our best to actually try to will the RNG in our direction, which, you know, if you've speed ran before, you know that's not.
Yeah, so the next trick we are going to be doing is called Salmon Skip, arguably the most important skip.
Going to be the case most likely, but we're going to try our best here.
Go to talk to.
So we're going to head over here and talk.
It will spin the camera in a way so Bill the Bull, who you need to talk to enter the night barn, automatically spawns in. Because before,
and it's basically just a way to
of Bill not spawning, so you have to pan the camera around, and it can lose a few seconds.
Buy
so
items for the night barn.
A consistent angle to make sure Bill spawns in every time, and executed perfectly. Well done.
You got it.
Which is where the pool table is going to end up. And upcoming, before we get into the night barn itself, I'm going to hand over this next trick to Randy, as it is his namesake. The trick is named after him, I should say.
Absolutely. Give me 1 second. Sorry about that. For hanging around, we are going to jump right back in. So Azib, go ahead and take it away.
All right, we'll start on go again. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so sorry about that, guys. My internet's been acting up a lot lately, so that was kind of part of it. Anyways, back into the run. So we are going to jump straight into, once again, the most RNG heavy part of the run. Usually you want to exit this minigame around like sub 14 minutes or so. But usually like a sub 15 minutes is usually pretty fine in terms of exiting. But yeah, if you know how to play pool, then I don't have to explain the rules. In case I do, you basically get in, you shoot in the first color of the, like any color that you decide to choose, and then whatever color you decide to choose, you have to shoot in all the other balls of the same color. And then at the end, once you get all those in, you have to shoot in the black ball without hitting in the white ball at the same time. But pretty straightforward, very RNG heavy. Lately, I've been able to get this minigame. I usually exit around like 13:30, so the consistency of this one has actually been pretty good lately in terms of my runs, but it's still very luck heavy, so see what we can do here. Hopefully get some nice shots for you guys.
There is also the coveted situation in this minigame where Duke, on his first shot, will just pocket the black ball. It has happened to me twice, and Wazip, I believe, has it happened to you twice on stream?
At least once, that much I know.
But it's the best optimal scenario because you don't even have to play the full minigame at all. Duke automatically loses when he pockets the black ball, and you can just go about a great run.
It's funny you say that because I have actually had a run that has died while I was like a minute ahead out of pool, so it's not always a guarantee. Definitely not at my level, but for the most part, if you get a really good pool where Duke shoots in the black ball right away, you will have a really good chance at PB. So obviously that's not happening right now, as you can tell, but let's see, maybe we can get that one in. Maybe we can still get a good time. We'll see. Let's see. I think gotta go for this bank shot here. Sweet.
Beautiful.
Good way to end that mini game. Yeah, that one is pretty difficult, as you can tell. It's taken a lot of practice to get a lot of these skill shots and trick shots that I've been able to get over the years, but with enough time and practice, anyone will really be able to perform well at that mini game. But we are simply going to leave the night barn now, as that was the only mission that we had to do. Another thing that we did before we went to break there, we talked to Root. Essentially, what he has us do is he basically keeps... he's basically the owner of the night barn, I should say. And with the Gopher Underground, you can buy a ton of items that will basically spruce up the night barn. And in return, he will give you items called milkweeds, which basically are like makeshift ladders out of seeds. And then he also gives you Gold Rush tokens. But obviously, we are doing any percent, so we're not going to be focusing on any of that. But now we're going to move on to Tease the Mailman. It's likely you've seen a meme or two about this not about this minigame, but using this minigame, at least the scene from the movie, where basically you dance behind a mailman trying to do his job. And the way that you complete this mission is you get 100 points. So we're going to see if we can get some nice long animations here. So the long animations have a chance of giving you 40 points or 50. Two of the long animations that add up to 100 in total, so 2 50-point ones is obviously the most ideal, giving you a 1 cycle, which we were unfortunately not able to do. So we're quickly just going to end this this mission as quickly as we can, as we did get a little unlucky with our luck on the long animations, but not the end of the world. Alright, from here we are going to be moving on to the first bike race that we're going to be doing throughout this run. So the bike races are really good in terms of teaching you how to utilize your stamina and managing it as well as as good as you can. So we're quickly going to bike over to Dandelion Meadows and talk to the Jersey Cows, as they are going to be wanting to race us in a ton of different missions. I believe 9 in total, if I'm not mistaken. So this is the first of many, so we're going to just see what we can do. As you notice right there, I did do a little jump. So one thing that the community has found recently is that there's these little like slopes throughout the entirety of the barnyard. And if you jump going into those slopes, you have a chance of actually gaining a lot of momentum from them. So we're going to be doing that pretty much throughout the run, as well as going up vertical ramps, going up slopes. We're going to be jumping to conserve our stamina as well as we can. But this bike race is really straightforward. The later bike races will have some skips and tricks that we're going to do, but we will talk about those when we get there. For now, we're just going to be doing the best that we can to tap the sprint key throughout the entirety of this bike race, and we'll just see how it goes. That was one of the instances back there where I could actually do a nice little jump to gain a tiny bit of momentum. Unfortunately, I was not able to... I forgot it, honestly, until I got to that moment. So, a bit unfortunate that I forgot it, but not a huge deal.
I just love that you're on a bike.
Oh yeah, it's pretty great. Like I said, it's similar to the Bully series, because I believe Bully has like a skateboard, if I'm not wrong. So like the bike is like the best alternative to that, and there's some tricks that we can do that we will actually be showing off one of the tricks at the end of this bike race as well once you cross the finish line. But yeah, cows on bikes is pretty hilarious. So yeah, like I said, a nice little jump there to conserve stamina. I don't think that jump I just did really gave me a whole lot of momentum, so it's not always ideal to be going for those jumps, but sometimes it really does pay off. So at the end of this bike race, I'm going to be bailing off my bike by doing a trick over the finish line. And once I do that, basically there's an animation that plays at the very end of the bike race that like spins the camera around your cow. So instead of going through that animation, we're simply just going to bail and then end the mission just like that. So like I said, bike race 1 is pretty straightforward. Bike race 2 will kind of be similar with a couple of momentum-based tricks, but we will explain those when we get there. So we're going to quickly hop on our bike. I'm going to go for a nice little risky strat here. Hopefully I'm able to pull it off. Unfortunate. Basically, so we have what's called super jumps on the bike. We did what's called a fence super jump earlier for JCSS, where you go up to a wall and spam space, and then right control is also the jump button on the bike itself. So instead of, what am I trying to say? When you, there's like a 2-frame window to get a really high jump if you press them in that 2-frame window, press both of them at the same time. And it'll send you twice the height up than a normal jump. So if we were able to jump over the fence there, it would have saved like maybe a half a second. But unfortunately, I was not able to pull off the super jump as well as I'd like to. And as you saw right there, I just picked up some items. So we got a cabbage, a carrot, as well as a pumpkin, which will be needed for a later mission. And then we picked up 6 strawberries. One of those strawberries, the one in my hand, is going to be taken by a pig right now, and then 2 others out of my inventory. But we have another character in this game who's also a glutton, so he has a couple of food-based missions, so we're just going to collect some of those food items now, that way we don't have to worry about it later. Alright, and now Pip, given how tiny he is, can't really get around the barnyard that great, so he's gonna hop on top of my head and hold on for dear life as I make my way through the barnyard. And we're quickly gonna do a nice little swag strat here. Basically, we're gonna do JCSS, the fence super jump that I just explained, and we're gonna jump down here, go through these trees, and then jump right over here. I think that perfect, like done in a perfect circumstance, that should save around half a second, but you're not always going to be perfect, so you can't always expect to save time with that trick. And this is actually going to be the end of the first chapter. We have 9 chapters in total, and we finally got through the first one, through all the technical difficulties and other tribulations we had to go through.
Yeah,
But that
those
is... Go ahead.
those half-second saves really add up throughout this run, so it is like a 3-hour-long run. And for instance, like the animation skips that we have throughout the run, all of those add up, and those little half-seconds save up to where you can shave 3-4 minutes off the run just by implementing these other tiny little things.
Absolutely. That's really what is the difference maker between a high-level runner and a low-level runner. For the most part, if you look at the leaderboards, there's quite a huge gap between me and second place currently. So the high-level runner is kind of just me at the moment. Point being that I've really shaved down every like second that I can find throughout the entire run, and it's really added up to the point where we've gotten below 3 hours in this game, and it's pretty amazing, as that was the first major goal that I had going into this game when I first started speedrunning, I should say. All right, and we're quickly gonna do a nice little trick here to not really save time, but save us some energy. Actually, I shouldn't perform it just yet. So what we're basically doing is we're manipulating Otis's AI. So we're going to squirt him really quick. He's going to get aggroed onto us. And the one thing he can't do is jump up here. So what we're going to do is basically just stand right here, and he's going to try his best to get to us, but he can't. We've coined this term the Otis spin, or the Owazi spin. You probably see some emotes in the chat right now of him doing the spin, basically where this orange circle right in front of us is. But this would be a perfect time for an announcement or two, I would say.
Absolutely. If you look actually on the screen right now, you can see the GDQ Hotfix shirt. If you'd like to support GDQ Hotfix, check out the 2024 Season 4 shirt at theyeti.com/GDQ. It's very cute, has Coop on it, has all the Season 4 shows. It's very good. And also, speaking of Hotfix, if you go to gamesdonequick.com/hotfix, you can check out this season's schedule and an in-depth look at this week's runs like this one. So thank you so much. If you want to just look at those for more hotfix information, they are there for you.
All right, thank you very much. So the one thing about this game is that there's 9 missions that are timed. So this is gonna be there's gonna be some moments where it feels like nothing's happening, and that's because nothing is happening at certain points in this run. Unfortunately, we're not really able to skip past it. There is one trick we'll do at the end of this mission here. So there's I forgot to mention at the start during the sharp squirting mission. After we squirt the last can, we're actually able to leave instantly. We're able to leave straight through the pause menu, and it saves around 4 to 5 seconds or so. And luckily enough, this mission, as well as one later on that's basically the same thing, will allow us to also leave early. So we're just quickly going to do that. The way that you can tell that you can leave early through that mission is if Archie is going to do his little dance animation. Archie is the name of the cow, in case we haven't been looking at the text box at all. But yeah, and to follow up that timed mission, we have another timed mission. Yay, I love high octane gameplay, and this game has a lot of that. There is actual like skill-based tricks and movement and mini games later on. Right now we just have to get through the boring stuff, but once we get past it, it should be a nice, enjoyable run in terms of the amount of tricks and glitches that we're gonna utilize throughout.
I don't know, I'm having fun already. Like,
Oh,
I'm having a
great.
good time. This is a
So
really
this-
fun game to watch.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, when it comes to like, just like turning on a stream, whenever someone is playing this game, whether it be casual or running, like this is one of my favorite games to just like leave on in the background. It's got a very cozy vibe, and this soundtrack is like surprisingly good too. It's lovely. All right, so this mission, essentially, these raccoons are actually trying to steal these veggies we have here. I don't know why watermelon is considered a vegetable. Anyways, we're just going to be defending from these raccoons trying to steal all these vegetables plus melons. And sometimes, or not sometimes, but we have these aggressive ones that are going to be coming in waves as well. So this is the first mission of a trilogy, basically. As it will get progressively harder as the later on we do these missions, basically. So this is the first one, so we're actually pretty chill for now. But one of the things I can show off is just one of the silly animations that we do in this game, where basically our cow is going to be able to like roll to the side, like a nice little combat roll. It's kind of silly because like it has no use in the speed run. And honestly, you don't really need to use it in order to like dodge the attacks from the raccoons, so it's going to be kind of silly. But one of the main manipulations, as you can see right now, hold on, let me get back to that in just a second. But as you can see, this little rolling animation is quite silly, but I don't even use it in terms of dodging. Anyways, back to what I was saying. The manipulation that we're doing right now, basically there's this one hole right in front of us. And so long as there's one hole in the fence, all the raccoons are going to try to get through this hole. So long as you stand right in front of the hole in the fence itself, then the amount of aura that you radiate will deter the raccoons from coming in. But yeah, it makes this mission very easy. Makes it really easy if you're in the middle of a run and you have something that you need to do really quick. The amount of times I've done laundry in the middle of these missions is too many to count at this point, especially when I'm doing a run right before work or something. So
I love this for you.
These missions really come in handy.
Also, I love the Dark Souls roll.
That's a great way of explaining it. It's basically a Dark Souls roll, yeah. One of the jokes I say with the community is that this game is the Dark Souls of speedrunning. Which is just not... I mean, Dark Souls is the Dark Souls of speedrunning, but, you know, it's just funny. Okay, and another thing about these missions, I forgot to mention. At the end of these missions, Archie does this dancing animation. So what we will do is have him face the camera. Normally, if you're not facing the camera as Archie, at the end of the mission, he will have to spin around towards the camera and start doing a dance. I don't know that it saves time, but it feels like it saves time, so I just continually keep doing it. Until I'm proven wrong. But we will be going up Ben's Hill here with a couple of nice little jumps to conserve our stamina.
And
We're gonna
those
be doing
missions
it.
are one, you cannot exit through the pause menu. If you try to, then you will have to restart the entire minigame, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's the one unfortunate part about the rest of the timed missions that aren't the chasing chick missions. But we're quickly going to be doing another sharp squirter here where we will be able to leave the mission early. And this one kind of showcases just how janky the squirting mechanics can really be in this game. So we're just going to hope that things go right for us. Okay, like I said, kind of janky in terms of the lock-on mechanic, but that was still fairly clean. Okay. Wow, this is really not my best display right now. Yeah, for some reason, this sharp squirter in particular is pretty, it feels random for the most part. It doesn't feel like it's consistent in by any means. Like, it's just, you kind of just have to hope that the game is going to treat you well enough. But that was as clean as I could get it, at least, so it could
Yeah,
have been
that
worse.
that one compared to the other one definitely feels
Well
like
done.
more of a coin flip.
Remember.
Absolutely. And the one thing you're going to notice throughout the run, when I am at the top of Ben's Hill and need to get back to the Barnyard, I'm going to go down this path towards the veggie patch, as it is actually, I believe, around 5 or so seconds faster than going the alternative, which would be through Dankweed Pond. So I'm going to be going this way basically the entire run, except for like one instance that we'll be coming up on pretty soon here. But one of the next things we're going to be doing right now is going to the Gopher Underground. So like I mentioned, even if you have a mission where one of the animals just simply wants to like give you information about like a mechanic in the game or something, for example, the one that we're about to be doing, Joey's basically telling us that we can sell specific items that he's going to text us about the same day. So when you go to the Gopher Underground at night, you're going to be able to sell those items for more Gopher bucks than you were originally able to. But there's nothing that we actually have to do in this mission except for talk to him. So we're quickly going to talk to him, and then right after, we're going to hop in the Gopher Underground to buy some items. And I will tell you those items. No, I'll just tell you those items now. So we're going to buy 2 honey, we're going to buy an egg, and then we're going to buy some butter. 1 honey, butter, and egg will be able to create a B-Day cake that we will need much, much later on. And then the second honey is actually used for a huge sequence break that was found well before I even ran the game. I want to say about 7 years ago at this point. And it was the first trick that was actually like found and implemented into the run that basically makes it so that you don't have to do a honey collecting mission. And if you've played this game before, and the amount of casual runners I've seen struggle with this game, I know that honey mission has stumped a couple of people and maybe even hindered them from playing this game because of how difficult it can be at times. But basically, the mission takes around 2 minutes or so, so we're basically just skipping that entire mission. So shout out to Whale, the first world record holder for this game, who found that trick like way, way long ago. Unless it was Pixel, in which case that was the world record holder right before me. But this mission, we're going to be doing a nice little a game of hide and seek for Maddie and the chicks, and we're going to be doing animation skips throughout. Let's say we miss one of these animation skips and we do the waving animation that our cow would normally be doing. That would lose us around 3 seconds or so. So we're actually just going to skip them, and then we're going to try to do these nice little displacement jumps, where basically we jump on top of the chick's head, and it should spurt us out in like in the direction that we're running towards, and that should save us like maybe a frame or two. I've only just recently implemented this into the run as well, so I still don't even know that it saves that much time, but it feels like it does, so I'm just going to keep doing it. So here's that mission that I was just talking about, Hannah wanting the honey. So we're basically just going to talk to her twice because we already have the 1 honey that we need for this mission. So it makes it very easy. So like I said, talk to her again, and that's that. Alrighty. So now we're going to head over to Dankweed Pond, and I think I pointed the bike in the wrong direction, so we're just not going to do the JCSS strat. going through that out of bounds area and then back inbounds towards the Dankweed Pond. We're just going to go down the ramp here simply. And what's coming up is actually a trick called reverse log jump. You might have seen me do it earlier, and I completely forgot to mention it because we were coming up on the end of the chapter. But basically, where you go the complete opposite direction of where the log is supposed to take us, and we just jump on it, saves us having to go around the dock and around the Dankweed Pond itself. So we're going to quickly talk to Otis, and Otis is going to have us round up his friends, because apparently he asked them to hang out at Dankweed Pond around this time, and none of them remembered. So we're going to have to go pick up each and every single one of them, despite the fact that there is a cell phone in this game that apparently every animal has. So I'm not sure why we have to go round them up, but it's okay. We're going to do it anyways.
Especially, too, since we aren't even invited. We're just going to get his friends for them to hang out, and we don't even get to hang out with them.
It's kind of sad.
It is pretty sad. Yeah, that is the one thing about games of this type is that you'll notice a lot of characters are just really lazy and selfish. They'll ask you to do something for them and barely give you anything in return. So it is a little sad, but it's okay because we're just gonna go fast. So we don't need friends when we're going fast, you know?
Writing that down.
And the one weird thing about Peck, actually, I do have to park in that specific spot. That way I can actually talk to him consistently. For some reason, a lot of Peck's like talking areas, like I guess talk box would be the way to describe it. I don't think that's the proper term, but I think you get what I'm saying. Anyways, they're pretty janky, so you have to stand in like specific like spots in order to talk to them. And that's the one thing that I've been doing this entire run is actually taking advantage of the area around the animals that you're actually able to talk to them. So I take advantage of that as much as I can. Like Randy mentioned earlier, it is like one of those things that will add up over the entirety of a run and end up saving you like probably 30 seconds to a minute, probably would be my guess. But we're quickly going to do this nice little swag strat.
That's
so
the first time that I've
satisfying.
seen you do that.
Say it again?
That's the first time that I've seen you do that, actually.
Well, welcome to the run, man. Yeah, no, I ended up testing that trick out. I think it only saves about like a half second, if I'm not mistaken. So it doesn't really save much time, unfortunately, but it looks cool at the very least. So there's that. But as you can see in the bottom left, no missions left on the map for us to do. So we're quickly gonna just hop to sleep, or go to the sleeping area and go to sleep, not hop to sleep. I think I said hop because I was on the bike, but it's all good.
And up next, we have yet another timed mission.
Like I said, very high octane gameplay throughout. Luckily, this will be the third of 9 timed missions, so we're a third of the way there. Not yet. Once we finish this mission, that is. But we're basically going to be defending against raccoons. Basically, the chicken coop is pretty vulnerable at night. So one of the main things that we're going to have to do is actually defend from the raccoons trying to steal the eggs, as you can see from that loading screen. And one of the main things that we can do in this mission... Oh, I actually will not explain it yet until it actually happens. The spawn rates of the raccoons are pretty random. Sometimes you get like sometimes you can get like 5 of them to spawn in at once, and then other times like 3 or 2 like we just saw. So there's one that spawns right here, and we're actually able to squirt it straight through the fence and then throw it away. So the weird thing about this mission is that there is going to be 2 more similar, or pretty much the exact same layout, just with different enemies. And this one in particular, just like with the veggie defense missions, you will be throwing these raccoons. I'll show you just how far we throw these raccoons if I'm able to. Oh no, that one kind of had a weird angle to it. Hold on, let me show you just like how far Archie throws these guys. Just off into the night, like a Team Rocket blasting away, basically. But
That is
yeah,
a very common trend for this game, though, is to reuse the same minigame space multiple times throughout, as you'll see as the run continues.
oh yeah. And it does make the run seem a bit tedious and monotonous, but because of the amount of tricks that we've been able to come up with for each and every of the missions, it's actually made it just like a test of endurance, really, and how consistently you can actually hit the tricks that we are doing. But this mission, like I said, weirdly the hardest of the 3 that we're going to be doing, just like this layout, just because you have to throw away the raccoons. But luckily, I have a route and a strategy that I use to actually complete it as efficiently as possible. That way we don't have to worry about losing any of the 10 eggs that we have. But if you have another announcement you want to make, this would be a good time for that.
Absolutely. We have a announcement about our Hotfix shows again. Welcome to Hotfix. If you missed out on any of our Hotfix shows or events like Back to Black or the English broadcast of Speedruns, be sure to check out the VODs on youtube.com/gamesdonequick, where you can catch up with everything that has happened on this channel. So any Hotfix show, any event that you've missed, you can catch them all right on the YouTube channel.
So we are coming to the end of this mission, as you can see. I believe each mission takes around like 2.5 minutes to 3 minutes, if I'm not wrong. I don't really keep count because I just don't think it's really worth it, as I will just use the time given in these missions to grab water or whatever I need to do. So I just don't keep count. I kind of just have a really good internal clock when it comes to these missions. So I know if I'm like on the other side of the house, for example, I know when I need to get back to my computer in order to not lose any time. But we're gonna go to sleep once again.
These missions may seem a bit monotonous, but they are really nice, and I'll run as long as this to give you a little bit of a break, both mentally and physically. If you need to like get some water or something like that.
And we're gonna be coming up to the south path right over here. We're gonna do a nice little animation skip. Lovely. It's always nice when you're able to get those, as they do save about 2 to 3 seconds. But we are gonna head over to Peck over here, our little rooster friend. And basically, he wants to fly, so we're going to help him fly. This mission might actually give Randy a bit of PTSD, I mean. Just because recently it was discovered that the frame rate matters a lot in this game, which, you know, that's a given for any game in general. But one of the main things about this mission, as you can see, we're going to be flying through the air. And if you're using... Right now, I'm currently using my mouse. And if you use your mouse while you have either uncapped frame rate and a really good PC, or a really bad PC and the frame rate like keeps dropping below 60, it will basically make it so that Peck will just kind of fly in a random direction when you move with your mouse. It's very weird, because you can also utilize WASD for that mission, and it won't have like really any effect at all. But for some reason, when it comes to frame rate, that mission just gets really affected. So luckily, the mod that I'm currently running on does have a way to finally cap that frame rate, so we don't have to worry about that problem at all.
I have lost many a good run to that mission, unfortunately.
Oh yeah. We're gonna try to do a nice super jump. Hell yeah. Sometimes you're not able to actually pull off those super jumps just because of the 2-frame window that it is that we're given to do the trick. And usually I never go for that super jump, so I was just a little excited when I actually hit it. But we're going to be moving on to everyone's favorite mission in this game, Gopher Golf. Yeah, so it's golf. And instead of using your cow to hit the ball around, we're going to be using these gophers underground. I already missed the first easy hole-in-one. Lovely. But essentially, it's a reference to the movie. So if you've seen the movie, I'm sure you know the scene where where Otis is playing golf with his friends, and then there's a gopher underneath the golfing green itself, and he uses a magnet to basically move the ball without Otis having to hit it at all. And right now, I am not off to a good start, which is not a huge deal. But yeah. Usually these missions take around, I'd say on average, for like a casual runner, probably around like 4 to 5 minutes. As the speedrunning community, though, has grinded it down to the point where we're almost about to get sub 3 minutes. And it's actually pretty insane that we've reached that point, because for a while golf was pretty untapped in terms of the amount of time save that was available. And only recently, thanks to one of our community members, Erratix, he actually came up with some strategies that'll come up in later golfs. That basically he basically pushed me to push this mini game to its limits. So huge thanks to that motivation boost from him to help me try to find as much time save as I can throughout these golfs.
Shout out to Erratix and the whole Dutch Barnyard community. You guys are awesome.
And we will have a Dutch community reroute coming up here in a little bit as well. Can't wait to shout out the man behind that. But yeah, for the most part, golf is pretty straightforward. Not a whole lot that's going to be happening. We're just going to try to get some nice trick shots the best that we can. Obviously, the less throws, the better. So we're going to try to hopefully get this hole 7 in 2 throws, which would be really nice. Unlucky. And by unlucky, I mean I did the wrong throw there. And then next up, we're actually going to be doing a nice little hole-in-one strategy on this hole 8 here. So I'm going to intentionally mess up my my first hit. Let's see, we got pretty good RNG. Hopefully I'm able to get the hole-in-one here. That looks pretty good, but I don't think I had enough speed, unfortunately. Yeah, so essentially, messing up on purpose will spawn or have the ball hit the middle circle there. And if you're able to get a perfect throw, it saves like about 2 or 3 seconds. And if you miss it, it loses you like 10 to 15 seconds. So we did end up losing a good bit of time there, unfortunately. But we will have more opportunities to get that. So hopefully later in the run, we will have a good shot.
This is the tame and normal side of the golf course. You will see the back 9 has got a bunch of wacky gimmicks to it and also a lot of cool tricks to it as well.
Oh, yeah.
I like that them throwing the ball is tame and normal, and that's my favorite thing. Like, this is everyday golf experience.
It is.
Yeah, this this game is not normal by any means. So I've played it for so long to the point where everything is pretty normal to me, and I kind of see your perspective of it not being normal now when you put it in terms like that. So that will be the end of our second chapter here. We move on to the longest chapter of the game. This is going to take us about an hour to get through. So sit tight, folks. Grab some snacks, grab some water, go to the bathroom, do what you got to do. But we are going to be sitting through this chapter for a while, so just prepare for no cutscenes for a good bit. So what I just did there at the end of that bike race, or sorry, not bike race, that golf, is I did a nice little jump off the end of that ramp, and it actually gave me a nice little boost of momentum. And we just continued on through the south path quicker than we normally would had we just not done it. So this reroute that I'm doing right now, where we go up through the veggie patch, was found by a community member, Yelman, who has only done one run. It clocked in at about 5.5 hours, I want to say, or just above 5 hours. And he ended up finding like a 3 to 5 second time save in his first and only run. So shout out Yelman for the accidental time save. Basically, we talked to Ben first here. Originally, we have a mission down by Dankweed Pond where Otis is basically going to have us deliver some flowers for him. And we used to talk to Otis first, and then we jump up to Ben's Hill and talk to Ben. But it was found that doing it in the opposite order actually saves a good bit of time. So we're intentionally going to fall in the water there. And one thing that I've been doing throughout this entire run that I haven't mentioned on the bike is that I do a nice little jump storage. So basically, I press jump right as I hit enter to get on the bike itself. And that basically stores a jump right when we hop off the bike. So I actually was able to pull one off here, and you'll see it. So that you might hear Archie do like a little jump noise right before I get on the bike, and that's basically an indicator that I actually got the trick. And the reason why I'm explaining it in the first place is that we actually saved an extra second by falling into the water. And usually there's an animation when you fall into the water of Archie shaking off the water off of him. And basically we were able to skip that animation by storing a jump. So yeah, it's It comes in handy every so often, but it is not a very it doesn't always save you time, because sometimes you get the timing wrong, and then there's like some places where it's really not necessary, and if you do it, it actually loses you like an extra second or so. So you just got to be careful of when you actually perform the jump storage itself. But we basically just delivered some daisies to a character named Daisy that just came onto the farm for Otis, and now he's going to be giving us a metal detector. And with the metal detector, we're actually going to be coming up on a very RNG heavy mission. Just take a wild guess who has this mission. That's right, it's Duke, our favorite pal, our favorite pool buddy. And basically what he has us do is we're going to be digging up cans around the barnyard. Basically, people have been littering, so we're going to do our part in digging up these cans and recycling them. I believe that's at least what he talks about in the dialogue, from what I remember. And before we do that, in the first place, we're quickly going to just hop off the bike here and pull out the metal detector, as there is a chance of 4 cans spawning in that spot. Unfortunately, we only got 1. But we're quickly going to park our bike here and talk to Duke real quick. The one cool thing about this mission is that the cans will spawn in without having to talk to Duke in the first place. But we're going to just, because we park our bike right next to him, and we are going to be heading to the back area of the farmer's house, we're quickly going to just talk to him before we move on. And not actually the back area, but the side of his house where the clothesline is. And then we're going to go to these other spots. Hopefully we get some cans. Pretty unlucky right now. We're going to hope that this spot right here gives me about 5 or so cans. That would be really nice. Oh, it's more in this direction. Okay. Not the worst luck I've had, but definitely not great. If we can get one more right here, that would be really useful. Okay. So now that we've dug all those up, we're going to quickly enter the barn, and then we're going to exit once again. And that's basically going to respawn all the cans that we just dug up. So because we need 3, we're just going to go back to the spot that I know there's 3 guaranteed. There and there. Cool. And that is the end of this mission. Like I said, very RNG heavy. Sometimes that clothesline will give you 4 cans. Sometimes the sleeping area will give you 4. And the one that I just got 3 cans from can sometimes give you 5. So you really just have to hope that the game is going to roll the dice in your favor. But it almost never does. So yeah, gotta love speedrunning. And now we're going to talk to Freddy. Like I mentioned, there's another person that's very gluttonous, and this is the guy. He's going to be taking the vegetables we collected at the very start of the game. The carrot, cabbage, and the pumpkin. And basically, he's just very, very hungry and wants to eat his best friend, Peck. So what we're going to do is just give him food to kind of satiate him for the time being. Alright, and this part does actually have my favorite dialogue that we kind of just passed, unfortunately. Where basically Otis asks how far we can squirt. Very odd question to ask, but, you know, he's talking about milk, so it's not that bad. Anyways, we're going to hop up here. We're going to do this mission called Super Squirt. Once the star pops up on the screen, we're going to exit out real quick. And then Otis is going to give us a nice little thumbs up animation that basically tells us we did the mission correctly. I've lost a lot of time back in the day to leaving way too early. But nowadays, I always make sure that the star pops up on screen. That way, we don't have to go back up on top of the barn. And I'm going to try to do a nice little momentum jump here. I was able to pull it off. Sweet. And going down that ramp from that high up of a jump will actually give you a ton of momentum to propel you forward. And we basically just use that to save us probably around a half second or so. And then we're going to be heading over to the BD farm right now. Ben has us doing another sharp squirter. This sharp squirter is honestly, like, still pretty unoptimized from what I've noticed. I think there's ways to, like, optimize it even more compared to the current methods, but we're going to do it as fast as we can. And we're going to point the bike in that direction for a trick we're about to try to pull off here in a bit.
Hello.
But we kicked that tree and collected 3 cherries, as Freddy will have us give him... Basically, he turned into a vegetarian, so we gave him veggies. Next, he's going to turn into a fruitarian, so we're going to give him fruit in a little bit here. But we're just going to focus on the sharp squirter real quick. And there is a can that's going to be through that that little grass area, so we're just going to jump and squirt it straight through the collision there. So thank you developers for that little trick.
This seems so fun.
It's very fun. Okay. Not terrible. Could have been a little bit better, but that was still pretty good. Oh, this is kind of sloppy. Okay. But yeah, this mission is honestly a lot of fun. And when you're learning the speedrun itself, like the routes that we take just make it seem just so much more technical. Honestly, it's a pretty technical mission, but it's like not as technical if you put in the work. But it's still very fun casually as well. So we're gonna go for BD farm clip here real quick. Unlucky. I'm gonna go for it just one more time before I move on. Hopefully we're able to get it. Okay, we got one of the alternative routes for it. Usually you're able to clip underneath the map there, and then we would fall into the void twice, and that would respawn us back at the barnyard. But instead we clipped through the map while falling off our bike, so instead we spawned at the old mill, as you can see. And we're basically just gonna do a nice little fence super jump here, if we're able to. It's probably gonna take me a couple tries. Give me 1 second, hold on. There we go. And we're gonna just go straight up into the air, really, really high. And then basically that takes us from an area we're not able to access until a little later in the game, and we're actually able to just to get out of bounds from that area and get back on track to what the route is giving us. So like I was saying before, this veggie patch is slightly more difficult than the first one that we did, but this time around is honestly a little bit easier. I think the only hard part is that the raccoons, when you are around the hole, the one hole that they open, they will not despawn at all. So you kind of have to just stay around that hole for the entirety of the mission, just to ensure that you're not going to get like 10 raccoons in the veggie patch at once. So I'll showcase what I'm talking about once we get to that part of the mission. But the aggressive cycles for this one is not, they're pretty easy. It's going to be only one raccoon for this part. We're just going to let him live for a little bit, and then we're just going to stand here for the rest of the mission, basically. So if we do have any more announcements, now would be a great time for that.
I sure do. Your subs, Prime Gaming subs, gift subs, and bits cheered on the GDQ Twitch channel help support Games Done Quick Hotfix like this one and all of our other amazing shows. If you enjoy watching speedruns, consider subscribing to the channel to get access to our emotes, have ad-free viewing, and chat with other subscribers during our replays.
So we are going to try to avoid getting hit by these tomatoes here. They're on the last mission of this one. It is when the raccoons are their most aggressive, and basically you can get caught in what's called a tomato loop. So I'll talk more about it once we get to that mission itself. But it's pretty scary, and I have actually lost a sub 3 hour run back when I was grinding to get the first ever sub 3 hour run. And basically I lost it because the raccoons held me hostage, essentially. But this mission's really easy. Yeah, like I said, a lot of the time the missions in this game are pretty self-explanatory. It's just about not failing them. That's the only way you can lose time. But as you can see, there's a ton of raccoons that are kind of just swarming in this out-of-bounds area. And there's going to be more coming as well. So if I was not standing here, they would easily overrun the veggie patch and steal all of the veggies. But it is thanks to the community member, Party Turtle, for coming up with this strategy of just standing in front of the one hole that's open. And like before, we're going to just stare at the camera at the end of the mission. That way we don't waste any time getting that dancing animation started. But yeah, very straightforward veggie patch.
Looks so cool with his glasses on.
Very cool. All right. And now we're actually going to be moving on to the mission that a lot of people claim to be the GTA mission, and that's because we are going to be driving. So you've seen a cow on a bike, now you're going to see a cow in a car. Yeah, and the speeds that we go at in this mission are pretty insane, as you're going to see.
Pretty breakneck speeds.
Yeah. It can rival any supercar or sports car that you've seen. But as you can see, there is actually a mission that we could do. So sorry to cut you off, Randy. I'm just going to quickly explain that there is a mission that we could do, but we're actually going to end up skipping it because doing it during the daytime will actually lose us around like 20 or so seconds. So instead, we're just going to go to sleep and do this mission first.
Welcome.
So we're going to talk to these Jersey cows over here, and they're basically going to be like, we want to race you, but with cars. So what are we going to steal? We're going to steal the farmer's truck and the BD car, as you can see in the loading screen here. I think the best comparison I have for this mission is the SpongeBob movie game, where you basically drive a sandwich. That's like the best way I can describe the controls to this minigame and how it feels. Some would argue that this game feels a little bit better. Definitely not my bias at all. But we're going to take the best lines that we possibly can here to save some time.
And yeah, in this rendition of the first joyride sequence that we do, we just do it normal as intended to be played. But later on, there are some very cool skips that we can pull off in the later joyrides.
And I'm gonna do a quick little trick here where I just drive straight into the wall there. That was recently found by one of our runners, 67 shots. Basically, instead of having to slow down and take that corner as tight as you can, we can now just simply drive into the wall, and it saves us from having to slow down, and it directs us in the right direction as well. So it's a very easy trick to pull off. Alright, so the mission that we're going to be doing that I ended up skipping in the previous day is going to be the second chicken launch mission where we send Peck flying into the air. This one is slightly, it's the medium, basically. So the first one we did was easy, this one's medium, and then we have a hard one later on. But this one is pretty much like, it's as easy as it comes, honestly. So long as you are comfortable with the controls, this mission shouldn't give us any hiccups here. But it'll still give Randy some PTSD, so we just gotta, you know, be mindful of him and his feelings here.
Yeah, I need to download the speedrun version of the game so that doesn't happen to me anymore.
Oh, definitely.
Hello again.
Alright, so like I said, very straightforward. One of the funny animations that you can do, as you can see, there's like the power bar at the bottom. If you go on the plus side of things and put too much power, there's a really funny animation of Archie getting flung alongside Peck, and it makes me laugh every time I get to it. And that was a little weird jolt there. Sometimes it happens, despite this mod fixing the issue. Sometimes you will actually get sent in some directions, but it's not as bad as it used to be. And one of the things about this mission is that if you, as you can see, we have the feathers in the bottom right. If you go through a ring while using one of those flowers, it will kill all of your momentum. So you just got to be careful about using it at the right time and not using it too early.
You're cool. Be seeing ya.
Okay, so the humans around the barnyard are actually pretty upset with the fact that gophers have been underneath the golf course. So as a preventative measure, they've actually put a ton of gopher traps all over the Izzy Springs golf course. So Otis is going to have us collect those gopher traps for him. That way we can play golf again. And this mission is actually pretty technical, so I'm just going to focus up just a tiny bit here. It's a really heavy inventory management moment right here, and one mess up can end up losing you like 5 seconds or so,
Yeah,
possibly
so you have
more.
to You have to go through this area of the golf course here and get all 9 of those gopher traps, and they're going to be hidden within the golf course landscape of the level. So it's going to be under the flags, in the tee boxes, and in the sand traps as well. But yes, it is very strict inventory management to be able to be optimal and not lose any time while doing this. And coming up on the last one here.
And that was fairly clean as well. Sometimes I make a little mistake and then I put on the sunglasses, and the sunglasses put on animation and taking off takes about like 5 seconds or so. And then the metal detector is in a random part of the inventory that I don't know, so it's just, it can get real messy if you make one mistake there. So I'm glad that went as clean as it could. Okay, nice little momentum jump, hopefully. Not too bad. So now we're going to head over to the veggie patch once again. Miles is going to have us collect some items for him, actually. One of the first items that we're going to be collecting is actually a rope. And recently, I came up with a little strategy to collect that rope a little faster. So basically, the rope is going to be at the Dankweed Pond dock. And we used to actually go to the dock and slow down a good bit to pick up the rope. What I'm going to try my best to do to pull off is jumping towards the rope and then doing a nice little super jump to basically get across the water. We'll see if I'm able to pull it off. You'll see how fast it is if I'm able to. But we are going to go towards Dankweed Pond first here. Trying our best to manage our stamina as well. All right, let me focus up here real quick. Okay.
There are worse outcomes that could have happened.
There are much like that. There's much worse outcomes that can come from that. Oh, that was very silly. So what I was trying to do is pick up that rope, and then I would stay on my bike and then jump across the water here. But obviously that did not happen at all. So that was a bit unfortunate. But we are going to go for BD Farm Clip again on this mission as well. And hopefully we're going to be able to pull it off this time. In the intended way.
Sometimes this game, despite whatever you do, just doesn't want to cooperate with you, and that was just one of those instances.
Oh yeah. When it comes to picking up items on your bike, the items are usually like pretty finicky and janky. They usually do not act in the way that you'd like them to. So sometimes you just gotta hope that you're gonna get lucky, and then other times you gotta just roll with the punches, just like with what happened right there. I'm laughing about just how silly. That's the first time that's ever happened in that manner, so it's pretty hilarious. And Randy had actually never seen that trick before this run too, so at least he was able to see me pull it off in practice before I got started on this run. Hopefully someday it'll become a more consistent trick as well. So we're gonna go for BD Farm Clip once again here. Did not get the right angle. I'm gonna go for it one more time because we're already losing time anyways. Let's go for it one more time. Let's see if we're actually able to pull it off. Okay. Maybe one more time. If I don't get it this time, I'll just I'll give up. Work? It did not work. Okay, so I did end up clipping into the spot that I'd like to get to, but sometimes this game just has a way of not working the way you want it to, just like Randy said. But basically, the way the glitch works is pretty much what visually just happened, where Archie goes underneath the map, and then you're able to fall into the void twice, and then it'll spawn you, like I said, back at the barnyard. But unfortunately, the game is just not acting in our favor currently, but we will have one more opportunity to pull that trick off towards the end of the run, so we'll probably go for it there. Otherwise, not a terrible items for miles split considering the circumstances, but definitely could have gotten a lot better had the BD Farm Clip trick worked.
That's all. And now we are on to another bike race.
Just like the first one, this one is going to be pretty stamina management heavy, and it's going to really put you to the test just how well you can conserve your stamina. And then there's like a couple jumps that we're going to be doing as well to try to conserve our speed as well. But we will see how it goes. I'm probably going to focus up a good bit here.
Yeah, stamina management in these bike races is huge, and kind of like we were talking about earlier, it's one of those things that's a minor time save. But when you stack it up over the course of a run, it can end up being minutes saved, and it's what that very high caliber runners are from even good runners. Okay? Something that just takes a lot of years and time playing the game and understanding how the game works to be able to get a good feel on.
So ideally, once you get to this blue gate over here, you want to have about like 3 to 4 bars of stamina. That's usually a good sign. I'm going to go for the risky jump since I have the stamina for it. Okay, didn't go as well as I'd hoped, but still not bad. And then coming up to... Go ahead.
Oh, that goal with that jump is to be able to essentially fall off the cliff at the right time while executing a super jump. Or a regular jump, rather. So you can hit the hill, maintaining all your momentum. It'll actually give you more speed, just like Waza did earlier with that gate jump. And it's just the way that you can really get low times on this by getting all that extra speed.
Yeah, and the main thing I was going to mention there is that through Walnut Woods, at the very start of it, you want about like 3 bars of stamina. That will usually give you a nice amount to utilize throughout. And I've realized I forgot to mention the main method that I'm doing to conserve my stamina is by simply tapping the shift key over and over and over again. And if your pinky isn't numb by the end of the run, then you're not doing it right, basically. But it really does make a difference if you're able to utilize your stamina at the most efficient areas of the game. Yeah, not my greatest jumps there. There is a way to get like some really good speed off of that jump, but unfortunately we were not able to pull it off. And as you can see, we start with at least 3 going into the entrance of Walnut Woods, so we should be fine. Usually it's the last leg of the Walnut Woods that really screws you over, this part right here. If you just have one, yeah, you usually have to be tapping like really fast. I don't really feel like it though, because I'm not really pushing for record right now. But fairly clean bike race for the most part, so I'm pretty happy with how that went. Yeah, that bike race has been optimized really well though, with those ramp jumps that I was doing earlier. So the items that Miles had us collect basically creates a tomato catapult. So if you've seen the movie and you know who Snotty Boy is, you know the scene where he basically laughs about cow tipping. So to deter these kids from tipping these cows over while they're trying to sleep, we're going to be shooting tomatoes at these kids. So we're going to try our best to save some time here. There's a good bit of RNG that has gone into this mission. And actually, when me and Randy were showcasing this game off at Pace, we had an unprecedented trick that happened and has yet to be like reproduced in any capacity.
I still have no idea how that happened.
I've been grinding this game for the past month, and I still have zero explanation as to why it happened. Essentially, what we're going to do is we're going to be defending these cows overnight. So it's going to be a 6-hour mission, 6-hour quote-unquote, where basically it goes through in waves. So we have like the first hour, and then we have the second hour, and then the third hour is usually like the halfway point of the mission. And essentially, you're supposed to end on the 6th hour, of course, but for some reason, it ended on the 4th, and it saved like 20 seconds over my gold at the time, and there's still just no explanation as to why it happened. It was very, very odd. It's that marathon luck, I think, as we were a part of the Pace Marathon.
Something, yeah.
Something was in the air. So, the boys in this mission are going to take 3 shots, the girls are going to take 2, and then the larger kids are going to take 5 shots of the normal tomatoes. But we do have power-ups that will make it so we don't have to rely on these basic tomatoes we have in our chamber right now. So we're going to collect that, we're going to get the mega tomato, which basically makes it a 1-shot. Another thing about this mission, as you can see in the bottom right, we do have an ammo count. when that ammo count, when you shoot your very last shot, if you press the spacebar a couple times, it will actually skip the reload animation entirely, which allows you to just basically shoot the cannon basically right away. Saves a good bit of time if you're able to pull it off throughout the run on the 3 defense missions that are like this with the tomato cannon. But full auto is a pretty good power-up. Not my favorite, as it doesn't really do too much, but it does at least deter these kids a little faster. We're going to hope to get Super Tomato here. We're going to let these... Oh, it's going to only go to that girl, actually. I did not shoot enough tomatoes at her, unfortunately. But it's all good. So that Super Tomato basically acts as an aimbot, as you've probably noticed. So you only have to shoot it once, and it will hit every kid that is spawned in. But sometimes you get just a tiny bit unlucky, and it doesn't pan out in your favor. One of the main things you have to worry about, especially when the coyote spawned in over there, if you have a Super Tomato, all the tomatoes will go towards that coyote. So you have to make sure that the coyote is not spawned in when you get that power up. But yeah, after the first 4 spawns, the spawns are very random. And you kind of just have to hope that the spawn rates of the kids are going to be quick. But it does not always work that way. I think this is going to be the end of the mission. Nope, we have one more wave to get through, I believe. So we got one. Oh, that's the last kid. Okay.
Sometimes the spawn rates can vary, so you can either gain a minute or you can lose 2 minutes. It's very inconsistent, unfortunately.
I don't know if it's as egregious as a minute, but yeah, it does feel that way when you're in the midst of a run, for sure. But as you saw at the end there, we quickly paused and unpaused as well, which allowed us to skip the "you win" text a little faster. Saves a couple seconds, I believe. It was found by the current second place guy, Meekmos, so shout out Meekmos. I hope you return back to this game eventually. And now we're going to be moving on to our second joyride here. This joyride actually has a really easy trick that anyone can really pull off. You don't even need to practice, honestly. You just need to follow exactly what I'm doing, and you'll be able to save an easy 15 to 20 seconds here. And ever since this trick has been found, I don't think I've finished this joyride casually, like, at all. I've only completed this mission using the trick ever since it got found, just because it's just that much quicker. But it's a very straightforward trick, like I mentioned. So we start off over here, going across this bridge. One of the main things that we're going to be sure to do is not go around the bend coming up here too fast. So once we get around here, we're going to kill our speed. And we're going to take this corner as cleanly as we can. That was a very nice line I took there, actually. And if the cops spawn within the tunnel, that means that you are on a pretty good pace. And then we go off to the right over here. And once we go off to the side here, we're going to just go between this pole and the fence. And now we are out of bounds, as you can see. So we're going to continue on, even though it's saying wrong way and the arrow is pointed in a complete random direction. And we're going to quickly get a nice little drift there. Nice little bounce. And then we're going to continue on in this direction, and that's the mission. It's that straightforward. Yeah, this one was found, I think, about 3 years ago, if I'm not mistaken.
Around there, yeah.
Yeah, and it's the easiest trick that you can pull off in this run, honestly. So anyone can do it, so long as you just follow the setup of going between the pole and the fence.
Come again.
All right, now we will be moving on to the longest sharp squirter. In my opinion, this is the real last sharp squirter that we're going to be doing in the game. We do actually have one more, but it only lasts 1 round, and it is very quick, not even 20 seconds long. So I usually count this as the last one. With the new long squirting trick that we've come up with, this one has become just like ever so slightly faster, thanks to the IL grind that we were doing just at the end of last year, basically. So we're going to do our best to save as much time as we can using the long squirt trick here. And we'll see how it goes. But this being the longest sharp squirter, it makes it easy for a lot of new runners to get lost on what the routing is.
Yeah, I was going to say one of the sharp squirters that is used to be very, very unoptimized, and now is seeing a pretty high level of optimization.
I wasn't able to get the long squirt, unfortunately, so we're just gonna grab these cans normally. And I feel like I forgot to explain the aspect ratio stuff because we had the technical issues. So one of the main things about the long squirt mechanic is on the original vanilla version of the game with the 800 by 600 resolution, basically wherever you aim is where the milk will go. But on a 1920 by 1080 resolution, for whatever reason, the milk will squirt off to the side when you use the aim lock mechanic without locking onto any cans. So we are basically having to find setups to hit cans across the map without without the milk being accurate by any means. So it's been a very tough trick to figure out for the most part, as consistency is it's a pretty inconsistent trick. But for the most part, we've been able to figure out some methods. I'm gonna try to pull one off at the end of this round as well. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, well, I wasn't able to get one there as well. As you saw, I quickly did like a quick squirt before I picked up the cans there, but it unfortunately did not work out how I'd wanted it to. And yeah, like I said, there's so many cans. I never said it, but there's a lot of cans, as you can see, in this sharp squirter. So you just got to be careful about knowing that you've hit all the cans by the end of the mission, especially if you're going to do the trick of leaving early, which we are going to pull off here. So that was an example of the long squirt working. We only were able to get one of those cans, but it was still a pretty good sharp squirter overall.
Yeah, given the amount of cans that are in that mission, it's very easy for new runners to get lost.
Absolutely. Without watching the ILs, most runners will usually just take completely new routes that I've never seen before. It always makes me pretty happy, and it gives me a nice little laugh, because I mean, you know, I have the knowledge of this game. I know what the most optimal route is, so it's always a joy to see new runners come up with new routes and ideas, because sometimes it does lead to time saves, as we've learned earlier in the run. Thanks to Yelman. But like I mentioned earlier, when we did give Freddy the vegetables, now he's turned into a fruitarian. So we are going to be giving him the fruit that we've collected throughout the entire game now. And he's going to just take it straight from our paws. So yeah, 9 out of 9, we are set. I did actually have a run recently where I only had 2 apples. So you need 3 apples, 3 cherries, and 3 strawberries. And I only had 2. And I didn't realize up until this mission, but luckily there's an apple tree right next to us to the right there. So it wasn't a huge time loss, but it was just a very rare mistake on my end.
What's happening?
Oops.
I'm gonna make something swill.
So, oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, here we are making the birthday cake that we were talking about earlier using the eggs, butter, and honey that we purchased from the Gopher Underground.
And just like at the start of the run, we did not get the best RNG. We did get at least one I'm Bacon from Pig, which is the most ideal voice line as it is the shortest, but we did not get the party on exiting the kitchen, so we didn't save a whole lot of time there, unfortunately. But yeah, this mission is very straightforward. On the Wii version of the game, there's a cutscene where the farmer actually notices the birthday cake on the porch and picks it up and just appreciates it greatly. It's a very cute little animation. It's one of my favorites, honestly, but it's only in the Wii version, unfortunately, so we will not be able to actually witness it today. But if you do feel so inclined to pick up this game yourself, I highly recommend the Wii version, as it does feel like a more complete version of this game. As it was, I believe, released a tiny bit later. This game is actually considered a Wii launch title, by the way. Fun little fact there. And because of that, it feels like a much more complete version of the game. As you walk around the barnyard itself, if you're walking by, let's say, Otis, he will say a random voice line. Same with any other character. It makes the game feel much more alive than this version, in my opinion. But it's a very fun version. The only downside being the motion controls if you're not really into that kind of gameplay. As I was not when I first speedran this game on the Wii. But we are moving on to the second golf here. And this is actually going to be the halfway point of the run once we complete this mission. And yeah, we have a couple skips coming up here that I'll mention once we get there. But like Randy said earlier, this one is full of a bunch of little things and weird weird courses for the most part. You're gonna see this first hole 10 here is kind of weird, but very easy. All right, so Otis is basically just telling us like we're sick of the easy springs, so we're making our own golf course. So as you can see, we have an entire pool as our first hole here. So all we're gonna have to do is just throw this ball into the pool, and then we get a simple hole-in-one. If I got it right, of course I didn't get it right. It bounced off the pole there, unfortunately. But that was still a fairly quick hole 10 there, so I'm pretty happy with that. We are coming up on the first golf skip here, so we're going to intentionally mess up on the tee off there. So as you can see, the hole's in the top right, we're in the bottom right. How do we get to the top right quickly? Well, we simply throw the ball in this corner, pick it up on the other side, and then we're able to throw it through the fence. Very easy. Very easy. This hole is pretty straightforward for the most part. There is actually a way to get soft locked on this hole, so we do have to be a little careful when we get to the pipe later down the line.
I've also had it before as well, where the ball goes under the map on this hole, and that's another way you can soft lock it. I'm not sure how it happens, but it did.
Well, no.
Yeah. Pretty unfortunate.
I get what you mean by the other one being a normal golf course in comparison, though.
Yes, now
I
you
see it. I
understand.
understand.
Yeah, a lot of gimmicks in this one. A lot of angles, a lot of like ramps and things you have to throw through. The other one is really a cakewalk compared to this one. Yeah, this is hole 13 here. If you're able to complete it in 2 throws, that's really quick. I don't think we're going to be able to, though. Maybe? Wait. Oh, that would have been nice. Okay, here comes arguably one of the scariest holes for a lot of newcomers. Hole 14. Hopefully we get the good RNG here and go to the left. We did not. So what you can do from this starting area is actually get a hole-in-one. Hopefully we get a nice birdie here, though. Let's see if we're able to pull it off. But there's a specific angle and power that you have to throw the ball at, and I was able to pull it off there, so that was really fast. Recently, this hole has given me a lot of problems, though, as there's like a specific angle you got to throw the ball at to get it through, and sometimes you can get lucky. Oh, and sometimes you can get it through 2 ramps with 1 throw, but unfortunately we do have to pluck the ball here again. Still, that hole 14 made up for a lot of time that I would be losing here anyways, so we're going to quickly get to here. Oh, no.
Oh.
So, as you can clearly see, the ball is going to take a long time to get to the hole now. The most optimal thing you can do here is full power throw the ball down the spiral. That did not happen, as you can see, so that is a bit unfortunate and probably like 10 seconds worth of time lost, but it's okay, as we are coming up on a really easy setup that community member Erratix came up with. Basically, we are going to throw the ball off to the left here. Hold on. I'm going to go off to the left here. We're going to full power throw a little bit to the left along that wall, and it'll basically just have the ball pop through both ramps. We're going to full power throw to the right, and it's going to set us up pretty nicely to finish out this hole. We're going to just wait right here for the ball to come. Nice little throw through. And then that's basically the entire hole. What used to be a very like random amounts of very random angles utilized in that hole has now become a very easy setup, and it's made it very easy to save time on that hole. Now we're actually coming up on a trick that I found about 5 years ago. Nice, we were able to get it first try. Basically, we throw the ball into a little pocket there along the fence, and we're able to pick it up on the other side of the fence itself, and we skipped this entire golf course. Back in the day, this saved around like 2.5 minutes. Nowadays, it probably saved like 1.5 minutes, but that's still a lot of time. And that was a very clean hole 17 as well, I must say.
Indeed, it was.
I think we should go with
So this hole is actually arguably the scariest. Erratix, the guy I mentioned earlier, did end up getting a 2.5-minute soft lock on this hole. Luckily, the golfs run on a timer instead of a stroke count, so he was able to continue on, but it was a very unfortunate time loss, and I wasn't able to get that throw. Fortunate. But the main trick about this hole in particular is that loop that I just that I threw the ball through, and then the ramp here has a chance to pop the ball up, and this ramp is basically where he got soft locked, but I'm not gonna obviously show that soft lock off, so we're just gonna finish the hole here. And there is a way to actually finish the golf here. If I get the angle right, I did not get it right, unfortunately. That's a very inconsistent throw that I've not been able to figure out, but yeah, the last hole is going to end in the chicken coop, so that's a pretty unique hole finish there. But that is the second golf, and now we are officially halfway through this run. Woohoo! Okay. Now that we are halfway, though, we are coming up on another chicken coop defense minigame. And this one in particular is very interesting. So as we all know, as I've been talking about, the gluttonous guys of the speedrun that we do missions for, Freddy and Pig. Freddy in particular has a very big problem in terms of the fact that he wants to eat his best friend. So Peck, his best friend, is basically going to be waiting alongside him at the chicken coop, and we're going to actually help Freddy in a very unique way to get rid of this bad habit that he has, this bad craving, I should say. So we're going to quickly bike over to the chicken coop, and you're going to just see how odd this game really gets here.
Yeah, it's basically like cow inception. It's great.
Okay, so how would you normally help someone that wants to eat their best friend? Well, it's as simple as this. You talk to him, he tells you, hey, he's having really bad dreams. Can you just quickly enter his mind? So what we're going to do here is we're going to enter Freddy's mind, and we're going to be a part of one of his dreams. And this is a very, very interesting level. As you can see, very red sky, blood red sky, and let me find one of these Freddy dudes real quick here. Freddy has turned into the devil, and he's trying to take any chicken that he can out of the chicken coop and eat it for himself. And for some reason, this mission, all the voice lines that Freddy has plays at the same time when they spawn in, so it causes for a very terrifying experience. And also calls for another great time to have an announcement if we have any of those left.
We actually do.
Wow.
Let's check out GDQ's International Transgender Day of Visibility celebration, which is a weekend highlighting transgender speedrunners on March 29th and 30th. Use !trans visibility in Twitch chat for more information on that.
Little chicks. Little chicks.
Yeah, so like I said before, like you saw in the previous mission where it was basically the same routing, we're just going to do the same thing repeatedly over and over again until this mission is complete. During this time, though, I do want to really give a shout out and a thanks to the Barnyard speedrunning community, as they've been a huge help into getting this run on this channel, as well as really showing out for a lot of the third place runs recently. We're having a nice little contention for third place currently in our speedrunning history, and it's really a nice motivator for a lot of old runners to come back. Hopefully Randy will be a part of that group as well. But the community has really shown out over the past year or so, especially when it came to getting our first sub 3-hour run. It really helped any small time improvement that we could find, any little trick that we could implement. It's really added up over the years, and I'm now coming up on my 7th year running this game, and it's really great to finally show this game off on GDQ. So I just wanted to give a nice quick thanks to the community as well as the GDQ committee.
We're excited to have it on.
But yeah, this mission is very very fun, as we can see. Just doing the same thing over and over again.
Little chicks.
With horrifying voice lines in the background, all playing at once.
Yeah. I think a lot of people, when they come into my chat, they usually are like, I couldn't play past this mission. I got terrified as a child, and I completely understand why. I mean, when this guy's yelling in your ear about wanting to eat little chicks and saying here's Freddy, it's pretty scary, man. So, pretty funny mission. Honestly, like the most unique mission I think the game has to offer in terms of like whimsical stuff happening. But yeah, very straightforward. Obviously, we didn't have to throw Freddy like we did with the raccoons, so that mission is, like I said, easier in comparison when you consider that you don't have to actually yeet the raccoons into oblivion. But we're gonna quickly go back to sleep as we don't have any missions left in the day. And this is actually going to be the start of the charity missions. So the charity missions consists of 5 different minigames, all of them containing, it's basically repeats of minigames that we've already played, but this time they're going to have coins throughout the entirety of them. The minimum amount of coins that you need to give to Daisy here is 1,000. And the reason that we're doing charity is for this dog Everett here. He's turning 13. Yay, Everett. And we're going to send him off on a nice little vacation. So to get him on that vacation, we're going to be doing these mini games and raising as much money as we can. So the first one that we're going to be doing is mud jumpers. Basically, we're going to do the same alt-tabbing trick that we did earlier in the run, this time with coins.
Usually the other mini games, or not usually, the other mini games in this segment do have some sort of variation to them, as far as like it being a different bike race, or the sharp squirter that we're going to do is going to have more cans than the original one, but this is one of the ones that is quite literally the exact same, just add coins.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty straightforward. Thankfully, we do have the alt-tabbing method as well, which makes it just that much quicker. And now we're going to be moving on to the third chicken launch. It's going to be the exact same as the last one, like I said, with coins this time. So it actually kind of makes it easier to complete this one, as you just simply have to follow the coin trail all the way till the end. And we're going to go for a nice little super jump momentum boost here. See if we can pull it off. Ooh, nice. We're 2 for 2 today on those. Really happy with that. So yeah, that nice little optimization of getting that amount of speed has really added up over time. And not hitting that trick basically loses me like a second to 2 seconds nowadays. It's pretty insane just how precise this run has become. But we're gonna just complete this this chicken launch pretty easily here. Yeah, usually around this part is when the frame issue would really start to show. Whenever you're in like nice tight areas, whether it be the tunnel at the very end or the canyon that we just went through. And that's usually where me as well as Randy would lose our runs back when we were having these frame issues, which, once again, it is really a blessing to have modders that are actually making the game better. And we will just see if this next bike race will treat us well, really. So we are actually coming up on the first real trick within the bike races. Where basically we're gonna be saving around 20 seconds by doing a fence super jump at a very specific point in the old mill. So we're gonna just quickly talk to Daisy again. You always have to go back and talk to Daisy for these charity minigames. But yeah, this trick was found by one of our members named Niaz. He basically was the trailblazer in in terms of finding a lot of the bike race and as well as just biking optimizations that have been made over the past year or so. So huge thanks to him for being a part of the community for the little time that he was, and finding just so many little things that have really like made the run just that much faster.
Absolutely, yeah. Just once again, given, you know, we were talking about the modding community and everything like that, just shout out once again to the community of everyone that we have to support us throughout this game. You guys truly rock and have really pushed this game forward far beyond anything I know that I could ever picture.
All right, so essentially what we're going to be doing for this bike race skip is running up to a specific part of this rock. I've actually come up with the lineup pretty recently to make it just that much more consistent. And we're just going to hope that we are able to jump up into the right out of bounds here. You'll see how it works in just a second here. Okay, that was a successful one, so we should be able to bike out of bounds here. And we're going to jump straight to the Walnut Woods here, and then we instantly get to first. And that was actually really, really clean, so I'm really happy with getting that on the first try. And of course, we do have 2 laps here, so we will have another opportunity to do it. And hopefully it'll go well.
Yeah, that trick has been a little bit finicky in the past. Sometimes you can roll backwards after you do the jump, or you can actually hit the invisible wall that is around the edge of the path there, and that if you get knocked off while you're out of bounds there, it sends you back to your last true grounded position. So it's before you even do that jump.
Just gonna focus up a little bit here, that way I can actually do the trick. Okay, I did not think that setup was gonna work, and it still worked anyways. Okay, hold on. Let's play it a little safe. There we go. So obviously, there was a lot of there's grass in the way, so you couldn't really see why I was freaking out. But sometimes when you land a little funnily on the bike, you have a real chance of like leaning back and falling off your bike. And that's basically what was happening, is that Archie was leaning a little too far back for my liking, making it just a little scary. As Randy mentioned, I would have had to respawn at a lower point that would have lost me probably around 10 seconds or so. So it's really good that I was able to recover well there. And just like on all the bike races, we're going to just bail across the finish line, skip that little animation that would normally play once we cross it. But that was a very, very clean bike race 3, as that was as good as it could have gone, considering the circumstances of almost falling off the bike out of bounds. So we're going to quickly hop back to the Barnyard here, and we're actually going to be doing the official last Sharp Squirter, but like I said, this one is very short. There's not a whole lot of cans. It's mainly just about collecting coins around the Barnyard. But since we already have 1,000, we've already reached the minimum that we need. We're just gonna go through it as quickly as we can here. This one does not utilize any... Oops, that was a bit of a late jump. But this one does not utilize any of the long squirt tricks that I have been doing for some of these Sharp Squirters.
Would you like to...
But so long as I can get the first couple cans without any hiccups, we should be good to go on this one. And just like on all the previous ones, we're also going to be leaving early once again to save that extra 4 to 5 seconds. I'm going to just focus up quickly here. I've been missing that can a lot lately. All good though. Oops. So yeah, like I said, very straightforward, very easy Sharp Squirter. That was definitely not my cleanest, but pretty clean considering
Well done.
how the rest of them have gone.
Thank you.
And we are going to be doing the final charity mission. Whew, finally. These missions definitely make the game feel very tedious just because you are doing the same thing that you've already done plenty of times, or at least once. Unfortunate, we were not able to get that third and final super jump that would have really helped, but it's not a big deal. But this golf in particular is just the front 9 with coins, so we're just going to do what we've been doing and just try to complete it as fast as we can. Hopefully I can get some nice hole-in-ones or some nice trick shots. If I'm able to get that hole 8 hole-in-one, I'll be very, very happy. And it doesn't even have to be a hole-in-one, it could be a hole-in-2, or so a birdie, or... We'll see.
Save the best mini game out of all the charity mini games for last.
Yeah, a lot of people say that they dislike golfing for the most part when it comes to this game. And I argue that it's actually my favorite... Never mind, it's not my favorite anymore, as I missed the hole-in-one there. No, it is definitely one of my favorites to do in a run. Just because of the sole fact that it takes a lot of skill to do this mission fast. Alright. This hole in particular, hole 3, has a very specific hole-in-one that we're going to try to go for here. We didn't get the good setup. Usually you want to get the ball off to the right side of the hole, but unfortunately we were not able to actually pull that off. Still got it? Oh, just before the hole. So yeah, obviously if you're able to do it in one throw, it's very optimal, but we did not pull that off.
Pretty much every golf hole, if you can do it in 2 throws, it's as optimal as you're going to get for the most part.
Just like that. Oh my gosh, it keeps going right before the hole. Oh, that's so unfortunate. This one in particular has found a good bit of optimization as well. So long as the ball bounces straight in, please. Oh my gosh. I'm just ever so slightly off. By the end of the run, I should have some good golf skills though. I'm just getting warmed up.
Golf is definitely not forgiving at all. Any slight minor offset that you might have gets shown greatly.
Absolutely. One of the main inconsistencies of golf is the arrow not facing in the right direction when you first initially land and are able to control your gopher. For example, right now I'm holding my D key, so hopefully it should go off to the right, which it did. Sometimes the game just simply does not pick up your input, though. So you just have to hope that the game is not gonna, for whatever reason, just glitch out on you and not read your input. It's not the end of the world if it happens, but it definitely does cost you some time if it happens. So let's see if we're able to get this hole-in-one here. We actually did get a pretty good setup for it. That might be just good enough. Yes. I wanted to get it at least once in this run, so I'm very happy that I was able to get that there.
You were born to golf.
Very clean.
Definitely not easy to pull off. If you overshoot that shot, it loses a lot of time.
Yeah, like I said, 15 seconds about would be the time loss. Fortunate there as well. If we're able to get this ball straight in, though, that would be really nice. Of course not. Right before it. All right. All things considered, though, that was a very, very clean golf 3. Especially with that hole 8 being as good as it was. So that was very clean. I'm very happy with how that went. But this will finally, I don't know if you guys remember, but this game does have chapters. That will finally be the end of Coyote Season, the hour-long chapter. The longest in the game, and the one that usually either houses the most amount of time save or the most amount of time lost, depending on what kind of run you're having. So let's see how this goes. Nice little jumps there, nice little momentum boost.
The game is very nice by having the longest chapter of the game be followed with the shortest chapter of the game.
Yeah, it's very funny. Once again, just not getting the timing right on that jump. Usually, you're able to hit your head on that sign and not have to deal with any collisions, so just a bit unfortunate that I jumped a tad bit late and ended up costing me a tiny little bit, but it's not the end of the world, thankfully. We have a lot of run to get through, so tiny little time losses like that aren't the end of the world.
Hardly
That will be the end of Chapter 3, and now we move on to Everett's party. Surely nothing bad happens during this party, though.
Surely not.
Surely not. We'll see. We'll see if something happens. But we're gonna go to sleep here, and then we're gonna enter the night barn. And what we're gonna do in the night barn is, I don't know how many people know the original arcade game Tapper, where basically you're a bartender throwing drinks across very long tables at patrons. And basically your goal is to not break any glasses. However, we're speedrunning, and there's a minimum amount of points that you need. So we're gonna just simply end the mission as soon as we can. But we first gotta get through the first mission here. And very quick, volume warning, for whatever reason, the game likes to spike the audio on this this mission, but it only lasts for this mission, so just be very careful about that. And it's actually not that bad.
Not as
Maybe
bad
I'm,
as some of the rats can be.
yeah, maybe I'm lying, I don't know. But we're gonna get those 2 patrons out real quick here, and then we're gonna press the F key 7 times. And that will end the mission once those glasses break. So all you need is just at least 50 points, and that will be the entire mission. And when we do 100% runs for this game, though, that mission is honestly, like, pretty fun in terms of just trying your best to get as many points as you can, but it's usually pretty rowdy by the time you get to the 4th round, so you just got to be a little careful about that. So I'm gonna let this cutscene play out just a little bit, because something very unfortunate does happen here.
Off like a strong man, defending others, but it took every last bit of his strength.
No, no, oh, he's gone. No, man. A
Then
good cow.
unfortunately,
I can't handle this.
So sad. So sad. So for some reason, when we leave the night barn, Bill just ups and leaves because I think the news of Ben's passing really got to him. So I think he just had to he had to go sleep it off basically. So now we're gonna pay our respects to Ben, a strong cow, a good cow as it says on his tombstone. And one of his favorite flowers that he enjoyed during his life was the bluebells. There's plenty of them scattered around the barnyard itself, or sorry, Ben's Hill itself. But for the sake of speedrunning, we're just gonna collect these ones. We're gonna leave those bluebells on his hill. That way we can, respect him a little bit more. I like to think that those bluebells on the hill are him, so I like to leave them, But we're gonna go up to Ben's Hill now after that crushing loss, and we're gonna just place these flowers on top of his tomb, on top of his grave. I mean, his tomb. He's not a pharaoh. And we're gonna get a nice super jump there as well. Sweet. But Daisy is here. Obviously, we have a morning Otis here, so hopefully these flowers make him feel better. We're gonna see what kind of animation he does. So we're gonna place these flowers down, get a nice close-up shot of Archie here. Let's see how Otis reacts. Flowers. That's it.
And back
That's
to
it.
depression.
Yep, back to it.
Take care.
Understandably. Very... Oh, hi, Archie. So we're gonna hop straight back onto the bike. And we have one more mission for this chapter. So the weird thing is, with how long Coyote season is, I think the developers realized, like, it's a very long chapter, so we gotta make the rest of these, like, fairly short. So for the most part, we only have one more chapter that's gonna be... Actually, we have 2 chapters that are gonna be more than, like, 3 missions, but we have about, like, 3 or 4 that are, like, 1 to 2 missions long. So there's not a whole lot of game left, thankfully. Or unfortunately, depending on your viewpoint of this game. But we are going to talk to Maddie here. She wants to cheer up Odie with her chick friends, brothers and sisters, I should say. And we're going to quickly go around the barnyard and tell them all to go meet up at Ben's Hill. That way they can sing a nice little song to Odie, as Maddie calls him. And the one unfortunate thing is that there is a cutscene for this mission on the Wii version that, of course, we are not on. So we will not be able to see that cutscene, but we will, we'll imagine the cutscene in our head of the chicks cheering up Otis. That way he can get into his, what am I trying to say? That way he can be the commander of the barnyard in place of his father. But we are going to do this reverse log jump one more time here. We will have one more instance of using it. So luckily... Okay, never mind. I was going to say, luckily it has not gone wrong at all today, and then I opened my mouth, so that happened. Unlike the hide-and-seek mission, we're not going to be doing the animation skip, as it doesn't actually save any time. If you do the jump storage for this mission, it actually loses like a second or two. So you have to make sure to not do the jump storage that I mentioned earlier, or else you will lose a little bit of time on this mission, as it will delay the waving animation that Archie does here. This mission is pretty straightforward. You just look on the minimap and just hope to, not hope, but you just see where all the chicks are, and you're just gonna wave at each of them. I'm gonna go for the Veggie Patch jump that I tried to do earlier. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it. I don't know if I have enough speed, but we're gonna just go for it. Ah, we did not get the super jump. Yeah, so I would jump over the fence, and then I'd be able to bike into the Veggie Patch, but it did not happen that way, so... bit unfortunate, but not the end of the world. Right. So now that we've rounded up all the chicks, we can now go talk to Maddie, and that will be the end of this next chapter here. And then we have a really awesome mission upcoming here in just a second. Awesome depending on your viewpoint of golf, that is. But that is the end of this chapter. Like I said, normally there'd be a cutscene of the chicks cheering up Otis, but fortunately, it does not exist on the PC version. But we are gonna quickly hop on our bike, and then we are gonna head over to the Izzy Springs golf course once again. Guess what we're gonna be playing at that golf course? That's right, more golf. Yes, more golf. Yes, very well. You guessed correctly. And instead of it being just 9 holes, it is all 18 holes. So if you love golf, this is the mission for you. Yeah, it's fair to say that the developers really enjoyed implementing golf into this game and into this route. Really, it really makes us speedrunners very happy when we have to deal with six different golfs. So we do have 2 more after this one. Not to spoil too much, but yeah, we still have a good bit left to go. But luckily, this is the longest split in the game. So once we get past this one, it's not going to feel like we have a whole lot left. But unique to this mission, we are going to be at the very front of the Izzy Springs. That is the only time we will talk to Otis there, and really to anyone there. So it's very, very unique mission we have here. Okay, finally got the hole-in-one here. I felt like I was cursed on the last 2 hole ones I got, so... yeah, we'll see just how well I can do here. The biggest rule of thumb when it comes to knowing your pace on golf is usually the song. So for this one, for example, by hole 9, you want the song to still be playing, or you want it to just be barely fading out by the time you're transitioning into hole 10. If the song is replaying before the end of hole 9, you're usually not on the greatest of paces. But for the most part, that's usually how you can tell like what kind of pace you're on. And as I've played this game for many years, different parts of the songs kind of signify like what kind of pace I'm on, even if it's not the end of like hole 9 or the end of like hole 15, for example. Let's see if I can get this one in 2 throws. A bit unfortunate. For example, there's a specific part that there's a switch up here in the song. So if I'm going into hole 5 at the point of a specific baseline, I'm usually on a pretty good pace. And wow, a very uncharacteristic mess up by me there. Good recovery though? Yeah, pretty good recovery. Still got the hole in one.
Very nice.
You could almost go pro. Wait, except for the
And this one usually has a chance of the ball going straight into the hole. Doesn't always happen, but there is a chance of it happening, so we're gonna just hope for the best. Yeah. a lot of these holes do have a good bit of RNG, but the RNG is usually not a huge factor when it comes to golf. For the most part, it just comes down to how well you can actually perform in the golfs. Let's see if we can get that. Hole 2. We did. Nice. And 2 throws is always nice on hole 7. The real monster here, though, is this hole 8. Got pretty good RNG. Let's see if we can do anything with it. I don't... That might be good. Oh, that is good.
There.
Okay. We're 2 out of 3 today. Nice.
You gotta love
Awesome
those
that
golfers.
that is finally getting implemented into runs and seeing it being used consistently.
Oh, yeah. It's basically mandatory to get a sub 3-minute IL time for these golfs, so... it's always this hole that gives me problems, though. Hole 9 is forever just a problem child, so
Me
you
as
gotta
well.
just roll with the punches. But like I said, song is ending by the time we're getting to the end of this hole, so we are actually on a pretty good pace so far. The back 9 is really where a lot of your time save is going to be when it comes to the full 18. So let's see what we can do here. Bounce straight in. No, not enough speed. All good, though. Another thing, there's like monkey screams at one point in the song. If you're able to get the ball in the hole on hole 10 there before the monkeys sound, which is coming up right now.
Right down the fairway. That means 4.
Yeah, if you get the ball in the hole before those sounds, you're usually on a good pace. After that, it's usually like you're losing about 10 seconds compared to like the fastest way to complete that hole. Oh wow, never seen that before.
Woohoo! I go with the wood on this one.
And like I said before, this hole does have a soft
That
lock
means 4.
towards the pipe, so we just gotta be careful about that. But this one is pretty straightforward, as we've seen already. Just gotta get 2 nice throws, and then you're basically almost done. Oh, another thing about this game, about this mini game, I should say, is that the instant you throw the ball, if you input on your arrow keys or WASD, you have the ability to pick up the ball right after throwing it, and that loses you like an extra second, because obviously if you're making a throw, you don't want to pick up the ball instantly right after, but for some reason the game doesn't have that like mechanic to make it so that doesn't happen. But you just got to be careful about the timing of your inputs, basically. Yeah, I didn't think that was going to go my way, to be honest. I don't know why I went for that. There's one thing I can say, though. It's that my recoveries have gotten really clean as I've played a lot of this game lately.
Hopefully we can see another hole in one on 14 here.
So we did get the good RNG this time. Oh, I messed that up. It's okay. So like I mentioned earlier, there is a chance of the arrow not pointing in the direction you want it to right out the gate. So that's basically what happened. The arrow just went straight up when I was trying to get it up into the right there, but not a big deal. Still able to complete that hole in a very efficient manner.
You were born to golf.
Okay, we got pretty good RNG. Let's see what we can do with it. Hopefully we're able to get the bounce that I wanted to get earlier. Nope, we're not going to be able to. Unfortunate.
That is a very hard bounce to get.
It's even more optimal if you're able to just get the ball to just like roll through the ramp itself without touching any of the walls as well. Or only the back wall, I should say. So basically on this hole, if you're able to get one throw and get the ball to go through like one side, it goes through and then goes through the other side. That's like as optimal as it can get. Kind of hard to explain without like a visual example. But if you saw what I was talking about, you'd understand. Let's see if I can get the tricky setup here. Yeah, I was gonna say that was not a good angle. So I am obviously not using the setup I used earlier that Erratics came up with. but there is a riskier setup if you get a good instance of RNG, basically a 1 in 3 chance of getting a good spot. If you get that spot, you're actually able to save a couple seconds due to being able to throw the ball like through the first 2 ramps with like very quickly, like right as you gain access to or gain control of the gopher. And we're gonna hope that this whole 17 skip goes as well as it did earlier as well. Even though I've found this trick, I still have a very hard time performing it sometimes, especially when I'm under a lot of pressure of a PB. This should work. Nope. Hold on. Right in that pocket, and then we pick it up on the other side. Perfect. Oh, I'm actually kind of glad that I picked that up, because never mind. I thought that was going to go through the loop, but it did not. So you can actually complete this hole in 3 throws, surprisingly. On the last, I'll just spoil the last golf at this point. It's basically the back 9, but instead of a timer, you're given a set amount of throws. So on that one, you're given about like 7 chances, 17 chances to throw the ball into the hole. So instead of using all 17, we're just going to use 3 of those if we're lucky. Very optimal, of course, if you're able to do that. And we got the loop throw this time. Not the best I've gotten, but still good.
Still saves
Close
a
your
lot
eyes.
of time compared to going off to the side.
Absolutely. All right, sweet. Yeah, so that was actually a really good full 18. Obviously not the most optimal, but still very good. So that makes me happy. Especially getting that hole 8 hole-in-one. I mean, that has been one of the main tricks that I was worried about not getting consistently. So the fact that I'm able to get it twice already is a really good sign. All right, so that is the longest split that we had to do. From here on out, it's pretty mellow though. This next mission we're going to be doing actually utilizes a route that the second place runner Meekmos came up with. Where basically, instead of having to open a gate to get to the Grizzly Gulch area, which is basically where the junkyard is, which we will see much later on in the run, we basically are able to do the super jumps that I was talking about, the 2-frame trick. If we're able to get 3 of those, it's like the most optimal routing. What I'm going to go for, though, is called the Grizzly Gulch skip / clip, where you basically clip out of bounds and then you spawn back at the barnyard. It would ideally save around like 1 to 2 seconds, I think, if done on the first try. So we're going to hope that it goes my way. But if it doesn't, not the end of the world. And of course, Joey, the gopher at the Gopher Underground, is going to be giving us that trick, or that mission. And the one thing we haven't done this entire game is actually upgrade our bike. So we're quickly going to hop in the Gopher Underground and purchase an upgraded bike. It's a nice little pink bike with tassels on the handlebars, so it's actually pretty stylish.
Big upgrade.
Big upgrade. And there is actually what's considered the Barnyard Deluxe, but that bike costs 2,500 Gopher bucks, so we obviously don't have enough. And I'm not going to input any cheats, so we're just going to buy this this Rose Racer here, and then we're going to head out. All right, I'm going to focus up just a tiny bit. So right after the log jump at Dankweed, we are going to be doing we're going to attempt to do the super jump routing, and then we're going to attempt to do the Gulch skip. So we will see how it goes. Arguably the scariest part right there.
Yeah, those reverse log jumps can be a huge sweat, especially when you're on a good pace.
Okay, I was able to get on the second try at least. Okay, sweet. That is the one that I really wanted to get, because I do have problems with this routing. So I'm going to quickly pick up this wheel, and then we have one more little thing here. Little ceiling fan. Or sorry, desk fan. Here we go. Don't think it worked. Okay, we're gonna go for it just one more time real quick here, just because I have worked tirelessly to try to get this trick consistent. This might work. Please, man, please. I just want to get at least one of these clips. Not a big deal if it doesn't work. I'll give it just one more shot, and then I'll have to give up.
The casino.
Yeah, I'm basically pulling the slot machine arm. Yeah, we're just not gonna be able to get it. I'm a little sad that we weren't able to get any of the clips today, as they are very inconsistent, and like I said, I've been working tirelessly to try to get them consistent for the past like week or so. So hopefully I'm able to get this gate proxy here. That would be pretty funny, at the very least. Let's see. Yeah, okay, cool. At least I could showcase something else. So for some reason, if you're running into a gate from the unintended way, and you run into, and you're like sprinting into the gate, you're just able to get shot straight up into the air. So at least I was able to show that off. That's essentially what we were trying to do with the Gulch clip there, but it unfortunately just did not want to work for us. And actually, the next mission that we have coming up here is Joyride 3. There is a glitch that we could attempt, a skip that we could attempt, but it is like a 1 in 1,000 chance to get. And so far with these clips, I'm not feeling very lucky. And as long as this game is, like, I don't want to add more time to the run itself. So I'm just going to opt to not go for it, and I'm just going to go for some clean driving here. So, if you do want to see how that trick is performed, we have plenty of examples in the speedrunning Discord if you really want to check it out. But for now, we kind of just have to leave it just like unknown to the new viewers. But very straightforward. All we're gonna do here is just try to take the cleanest lines that we possibly can. And as you can see in the bottom right, we're going like very, very fast. So, you know, we're doing this as quickly as we can.
There's a very interesting skip in this joyride as well that has occurred.
Another skip?
This is joyride 3, correct?
Oh, I already explained it.
Oh, did you? Oh, shit.
Yeah. No worries. But basically, where we would enter to go do the clip will be off to the left here, behind that barrier. It's actually the same spot as Joyride 2 skips, Joyride 2's skip, but you basically have to clip through an invisible wall. And the way you clip through that wall is by landing on your side, and then you have to have your tires up against that wall, and then the game will recorrect you on the other side of that fence. As you can probably tell, it's really hard to like tip yourself over consistently in that manner. Or otherwise, I would be going for the trick right now, but unfortunately, it's just very difficult to pull off even once. I found it, and then it took me about 2 hours to even replicate the glitch at all. So that should give you guys an idea of just how inconsistent that trick actually is, let alone doing it and actually being able to beat the Jersey Cows. Because the Jersey Cows have a set path that they go on, a set amount of speed that you have to beat the mission by, or else they will simply win. And right back there is where the glitch is actually performed. But yeah, like I said, we're just not going to be able to pull it off tonight, unfortunately. I don't even want to chance it. Alright, but that will be the end of Joyride 3. And next up, we actually have a pretty interesting bike race, as we are going to be utilizing, essentially, if you know Mario Kart Wii's super ultra shortcuts, it's similar, definitely not close to that level of trick, but it still does take a good bit of learning and practice to actually get it fast and consistent. So basically, we're gonna do a super jump to get to a specific part of the race, and then from there, we're gonna bike to a certain point, turn around, and then we're gonna basically do the race backwards for a little bit, and hit a checkpoint that will instantly put us in first. And you'll see how that works with the bike race itself here. And this one was found by Mikmos, I want to say around 2 to 3 years ago. And since then, it's been like one of the main time saves in the run for a lot of people. Alright, so one of the main things about the bike as well is your camera sensitivity is like lowered by a ton when you're on the bike. So I'm just going to quickly up my DPI, that way I can turn my camera in that direction. Back up a little, and then do a super jump. Sweet. When you're able to get that super jump, it feels so satisfying. And then we're going to quickly turn around there. And now we're going to do the bike race backwards, just like I said. I want to keep going up until this log jump here. And we're going to jump, turn around there, and then we're going to continue on. As you can see in the top right, we have reached first place. So we did successfully do the trick. Thankfully, this one's not too hard to complete. And there's actually a failsafe here if you do mess up the super jump, where it respawns you right on top of the bridge as well. So this trick is very easy to pull off, at least the super jump one. And then all you have to do is make sure that you don't fall off your bike here, or else it'll respawn you where we turned around. So you just have to be careful not to fall off the bike or let the Jersey cows hit you off the bike, as that will lose you a good bit of time. But just like all the other bike races, once we get to the finish line here, we're just going to trick off and save ourselves a couple seconds. But that was very clean. Very happy with how that bike race went.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Real fast. Too fast.
And now we are going to be doing what's considered the stomping mission. Essentially, raccoons have created holes in the water pipes for the mud pen, the pig pen. So the pigs are not getting any water to make mud with. So we're essentially just going to be covering up these holes and making it so that they get water back to their space. But before we do that, Miles has some flowers around him, so we're quickly going to do a nice little animation skip before we talk to him to pick it up. There is an animation that you do as your cow, where you actually like stomp the hole in with your hoof. But to skip that, we're just going to simply hold this flower and press the interact key over top these water holes. And that basically saves us from having to do the jumping animation skip, which would actually lose us a little bit of time if we did those over this flower animation skip, basically. Sweet. And usually a good indicator is if the biking music is still playing when you're getting back on your bike. If it's continuing from the spot that you got off your bike from, that's usually a sign of just how fast you're going. So that was a very optimal stomping mission right there. I'm very happy with how that went. And now we are going to complete our last and our final and last. What was I going to say? Our final chicken launch minigame here. Basically, this is going to be the hardest one. This is where usually the frame issues would really come into play, as this one does have the tightest little like corridors, and not corridors, but areas to go through. So you got to be very careful to not bump into anything here, as it can easily end your run on this mission. So I'm just going to focus up just a tiny bit once again, making sure to use the feather right after we go through these rings. And we're going to use our feather here just because there's a huge lull there. You don't want it to drag on too long without having good speed, so you gotta kind of use it there just to make sure you're not going to be slowed down too much. Sweet. So that will be the end of our chicken launch minigames. So goodbye, Peck. You are able to fly now. And now we move on to the second Chasing Chicks minigame. So if you guys remember one of the first missions that we did after Chapter 1, or the first mission that we did after Chapter 1, where we basically got Otis stuck into that like soft lock, for Otis, I should say, not for us, but for Otis. We're basically going to be doing the same exact mission against the Jersey cows now. Just like before, we are able to leave at the very end of this mission. The main thing you have to be careful of is that a chick is not being thrown by one of these 3 guys. If that happens and you happen to leave early before the chick hits the chicken coop, you will have to redo the entire mission. So the reason why I mentioned the dancing animation as like a way to make sure that you're actually completing the mission is that's what that will act as our way of exiting the mission early. Once we see Archie do that dance animation, we are all set to go. And if we do happen to have any more announcements, then that would be a great time.
We sure do. We have one about our official GDQ Discord. If you join the official GDQ Discord and add the Hotfix role, you can keep tabs on upcoming events, talk with staff, and more. Use !Discord in Twitch chat for more information on that.
Lovely. Yeah, so it's a very straightforward mission. One of the things, if you have played this game before, there's these like little pink circles you'll notice off in the distance. Although they do give you the most amount of points, throwing a chick through them will actually lose you time as the timer itself stops and a nice little animation plays of the chick actually making it back to the chicken coop. The camera will follow it all the way until it lands. However, like I said, it loses a lot of time. So you definitely want to avoid that at all costs. At this point, now that I'm at 100 points, I feel pretty comfortable enough to kind of just like mess with these guys a bunch. I'm gonna try to use the Otis aggression manipulation that I was doing earlier, where he basically just like locks onto you. Oh, he took my milk. Come on, bud. I needed that. But yeah, we're basically just gonna be messing with these guys until the very end of the mission. That way, it saves me from having to see if I'm gonna do the dance animation. I'll simply just know if I'm able to leave early or not, without having to check that failsafe. Let's try to get Eddie following us. Good with Bud, and now we just gotta make sure that Egg isn't gonna throw that chick. We're gonna try to aggress him really quick here, and we should be all set. Yep, we're all good to leave early here. So that was cleanly done on my part. You just gotta be very careful not to let them throw any of the chicks at the very end.
Ain't you?
All right. So a nice little reroute here, found by community members Party Turtle as well as Proot. Party Turtle, who happens to have a run in this game, was trying to teach someone else how to run this game. And that person happened to, and Proot happened to go to sleep right after doing Chasing Chicks. And basically, through that accident, we were able to find a nice 30-second time save, where you basically do this joyride before you move on to the final veggie defense that we're going to be doing right after this mission. But this will be the last joyride that we do here in the barn. So we're going to just do our best. No skips on this one. We're going to just do our best to drive as cleanly as possible. So I'm going to just focus up a tiny little bit here. So sorry if I'm not talking much, but just understand that there's a lot of lines that I want to hit for good speed here.
Yeah, Joyride is one of those things similar to biking where it may seem pretty monotonous at first to be, hitting these precise lines or managing stamina correctly when it comes to biking, but when you're a top level runner, these are the type of things you need to do in order to get PBs and shave seconds off of the runs.
So that first little incline that I hit there, I always make sure to let go of my W key. That way I'm not messing anything up, because too much speed and you have a good chance of flipping over and off into the grass areas to the side, to the right side more specifically. So I always make sure to just be careful. Sweet. Okay. Yeah, you gotta really take your time on some of these turns here. Just because too much speed will cause you to just bump into the walls, so you just gotta be very careful about not doing that too often. That little bounce back there that I just did, I used to actually be very scared to hit it. There's a drifting mechanic that I haven't been doing pretty much at all this entire run. If you hit that corner with a drift, it's actually pretty scary. So just gotta be careful about that. Oh, not a clean line. Unfortunate. Oh, and don't forget to drink milk, as the the billboards on the side of the road say as well. You'll really get to take those signs in on the last joyride we do. So there's that drifting mechanic I was talking about. Obviously, it doesn't come up too often in terms of saving time, so overall not a bad joyride by any means. Alright, so I think that is the last mission that we actually do in the Night Barn itself, if I'm not mistaken. So goodbye, Night Barn. We will see you later. Alright, and like I said, we do have another veggie defense mission upcoming in just a second here. As I mentioned before, this one is arguably the scariest one, as this is when the raccoons become their most aggressive. They are very hungry. They really want these vegetables, so we really got to be careful to not get hit by the tomatoes that they're gonna throw at us when we have to deal with the aggressive waves of the raccoons. That is.
Yeah, if you get hit with one of them, it is a possibility to essentially get held in an animation lock where it is very hard or virtually impossible to move your character. It can just be pretty much an auto-fail for the mission. It's happened to me before, unfortunately, in a run.
And not just you, but me as well. Like I said, like I said earlier, the sub 3 grind that I was going for last year, I did end up losing a really good run due to this mission. But for the most part, you can kind of dodge these raccoons pretty easily just by simply jumping side to side. I actually, one of our moderators, gaming guy, he actually did a run today, and he's not very experienced with this game, so he actually ended up like failing this mission, and I don't know if he failed it twice, but I know he definitely failed it once. But it happens to the best of us, you know. Like that's the one thing you kind of have to accept with this game, is that there's just some missions that are just simply going to be harder than others. And especially this far down the line in the speedrun itself, it's pretty, it hurts a lot when you lose time to something as simple as a timed mission. But these raccoons are very aggressive, as I'm sure you can hear these tomatoes hitting all sides around me. You just got to be very careful not to get hit. And that's like the biggest thing. But just like before, we are going to stand in front of this hole to manipulate these raccoons from entering. It makes this mission very easy. But you do have to be careful once the aggressive raccoons spawn in. Sometimes these guys take like an extra second to go away, and they will enter and steal a vegetable. Luckily, we do have 9 to play with here, so I'm actually just going to let some of them enter. Or all of them enter. I guess everyone's welcome in here. Just to ensure that I'm not going to get hit by any of the tomatoes thrown by the aggressive raccoons. And only one of them stayed, so that's actually really good. But we only have one more wave of these aggressive raccoons, and we're not going to get stuck in this tomato loop that we've been talking about, I don't think at all. So we're safe. We're good and we're safe. No time loss. But yeah, this is, let's see, we have about 2 more missions that are timed, and then we are done with them for the rest of the run. But we do have a very exciting bike race, the final bike race coming up here on the next mission. Good bit of tricks utilized throughout the entirety of it, so I'm excited to show those off. As it is, I think it is my favorite bike race at this point. Just for the sole fact that there's 3 separate instances of glitches that we use to make it faster. But this is the final veggie defense mission, so we are all good. The farmer's harvest will be plentiful. Alright. So, like I did just say, it is the final bike race, which means that after this point, we only have, this is the last time we have to actually race the Jersey cows in anything. But we do have one more joyride, not too far after this chapter end, which we are coming up on the next 2 missions, the end of this chapter, and then it's pretty fast from there. We don't have a lot left after that point. But we are going to perform a quick little animation skip there on the final gate that we open, and then we're going to talk to the Jersey cows. And now that we have the upgraded bike, it actually makes this mission much easier to manage stamina on as well. And right now the community is actually kind of having like a discussion about whether or not buying the bike at all is even worth it in the long run. So that's going to take a lot of testing to truly figure out. I do want to see if I can get this eddy surf glitch. Oh no, unfortunate. Sometimes if you're fast enough, you can land on top of Eddie just like I did there, and he'll carry you for just a little tiny bit. And it's pretty funny and saves you some stamina usage as well. So the first glitch we're going to perform here, we're going to hit this fence right here, and we should spawn on the other side. Yep, very clean. Basically, the checkpoint sticks out through that fence, so all you have to do is just touch it on the other side and then bail on your bike, and then you respawn, and it saves about like 5 seconds or so. So it's a nice little time save if you're able to pull it off, especially as quickly as I did there. But just like the other bike races, this one is the name of the game. It really is your stamina, as you can see in the top left. I don't have a whole lot at the moment, so I do have to conserve it just a little bit. Okay, and just like before on the items for Joey mission that we did, where we went to the Grizzly Gulch and collected all those items, we are going to perform the Gulch jump once again. And hopefully this one's going to go as clean as it did last time, where I got the super jump. Unfortunate, but we still got the backup pretty cleanly, so I'm not too upset about that. So as you can see right now we're currently going the wrong way. We're going to be in second place. Oh no, what are we going to do about it? Oh no. Well, let's go to this rock pile over here and see if we get first. And yeah, we get first. So it all works out in the end.
One of my
go ahead.
favorite skips throughout the whole game is this little bike race skip here.
Absolutely. Let's see if we can get this right here. Unfortunate. I do think we spawn at the top. Nope, I did not get enough height. Okay, now it should... Nope, hold on. Try number 3. Okay, we got the super jump. Yippee! Yeah, so that little Ben Hill jump there is a little difficult to get sometimes. Most optimal way to do it, of course, is to get a nice little super jump before having to like utilize the rocks on the side of on the face of the hill to get up. But yeah, if you're able to get that super jump first try, it does save a good bit of time. As well, we did find recently that if you reach the top of the hill and then you bail off your bike a little like farther down, you are able to respawn at the top, which saves a good bit of time from having to go like the usual way, the intended path, I should say. And I'm gonna do that bike race 3 skip once again here, so I'm gonna just focus up. Uh-oh. Could have gone a lot worse. So that is like the alternative path where you just simply jump up the ramp there. Ideally, we did want to go out of bounds there and bike back in right over here, but it obviously did not go the way we wanted it to. But it still did not lose us that much time, so... Now we have our 5th golf, and don't get too sad, folks, because we have at least one more golf to go after this one.
Yippee!
We love golf around here, especially Otis. So we're gonna just try to complete this one as fast as we can, as we have been doing the entire time. Okay, we're 2 out of 4. We're 50% on the hole-in-one on hole 1, so I'm pretty happy about that, I guess. And especially on these missions with the limited amount of throws, when you throw it and instantly pick up the ball, it is pretty unfortunate. As it not only loses time, but it also gives you the chance to fail the mission as well. So you just want to avoid that at all costs. I don't think that's going to work. Yeah. Just very unfortunate on these hole 3s today. Usually I have a pretty good shot at getting a hole-in-one on those, but it's just not been my day today, unfortunately.
Yeah, once again, like I said earlier, those any kind of miscalculation you have in angle or strength can really come back to bite you on these golfs. They're a very unforgiving minigame.
Which is why it's my favorite.
Pure test of skill.
Yeah.
Nice!
Alright, there is an ongoing joke in the community. Hopefully, Tark doesn't get banned here. Hold on. Oh, Tark, I'm sorry, man. You're banned for life. I did not get that trick once today. Basically, no, did I get it? No, I think I got it once today. Never mind.
You got
it
it
was
once
actually
when you had messed up the first shot.
Yeah, it was a harder setup too. So actually, you're good, Tark. I got it on a pretty bad on a pretty bad one. Oh, and that should actually just go straight in. Sweet.
Oh, yeah!
We take those.
Cuatro!
All right, let's see how this whole 7's gonna go. This is usually the problem one. Aside from hole 8, of course. Yeah. Better angle that would have gone straight in, but not a big deal. Let's see if we can be 3 out of 4 today. Please.
Cuatro!
I think we got the bad RNG, yeah. No worries. We can always reset it up. Let's try to get a better shot here. I don't think that's going to work, but it might. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
That
Okay, line it
is
up.
actually
And
insane.
bow. Right down.
Anyone that's been watching my streams for the past month know that that trick has really given me a lot of issues. I've just had a really hard time getting that consistent, and the fact that I was able to get it 3 times in this run today is just mind-blowing to me.
Yeah, 3 out of 4 is very, very good.
A really good ending on that hole 9 as well.
That was
Unfortunately, that would not beat my goal just because I did mess up the Bike Race 3 skip, but it is not a big deal by any means. That was really clean.
I was gonna say that's one of the best front 9s that I've seen in a minute.
It might even be like a sub 3 minute in terms of ILs as well. That's just
Yeah.
how good it was. Only thing holding it back was really that hole 3, but
Mhm.
aside from that, really clean. I think I accidentally just buffered my pause menu. Let's see if it does. Yep, okay. So now we are on to boy tipping. So I'm sure a lot of us actually know. I wanted to do a nice little jump there, didn't work. Anyways, I think most people that have seen the movie obviously know the scene where Snotty Boy is taunting the cows. He goes home and then the cows tip him back. That's essentially what this mission, this next mission is going to be. But before we do that, we have to tease Mrs. Beatty. Basically, Mrs. Beatty, if you don't know, is this this older lady who knows that the cows can walk and talk, but no one believes her because the cows hide it so well. And essentially, she's trying to prove a point to her husband that these cows are doing it, and we're essentially just gonna make her look even crazier than most people already think she is. It's a very silly mission. So instead of 100 points, just like Tease the Mailman, instead we're going to be going for 200 here. The most optimal way to complete this mission is 4 long animations that all are 50 points each. Obviously that will add up to 200. And that's hoping that Mr. Beatty himself does not turn around too often as well. Otherwise, we are at risk of losing a good bit of time.
Yeah, unlike the first teasing mission, Tease the Mailman, which is a guaranteed 2 cycle if you do it correctly. This one does have a little bit more RNG to it.
And I already got the bad RNG, so it is what it is. And as you can see on the left side of the screen, they're just missing part of their house, too. Very odd mission. But that's just thanks to the resolution being as high as it is. So it's pretty funny that if you were on like a CRT on like a PS2, you would not be seeing the left side at all. You don't even need a CRT for that matter, just the aspect ratio to be different. We are going to complete that mission. Yeah, pretty luck-based. We did not get the best RNG there, unfortunately, but not the end of the world. And now we get to sit tight for another 3.5 minutes on the second to last timed mission here. Everyone's favorite kind of mission when it comes to speedrunning, a follow mission. Woohoo! Yay!
Woo, yeah, yippee.
Very enthusiastic. Yeah, as you guys can tell, time missions are just not a lot of fun. This one in particular is the worst, as it forces you to follow these kids who are surprisingly going very fast on bikes. It's very weird. They're going like 80 miles or 80 kilometers an hour, which is very fast on a bike. So we're just gonna follow them all the way to their homes, basically, and then we'll be able to go as fast as we can. But now would be a fantastic time for any more announcements if we have any left.
We actually don't, but I had a question for you. I know that
Absolutely.
you also run the GBA version of this. Which one is your favorite to run? Or do you have a favorite?
You're looking at it right now. This is absolutely my favorite.
Is there a lot of differences?
So the GBA version, for the most part, it's kind of like this game where it's very minigame oriented for the most part, and then like missions where you collect certain items and then talk to the person who gave you that mission again, which makes that run like it's like 40 minutes compared to the 3 hours that you have to commit to with this game. And despite those differences, this is absolutely my favorite version of the game. I think the second best version, in my opinion, is definitely the Wii. And to kind of piggyback off of that, I did actually end up doing a marathon run where I played every version of the game.
Oh my god.
Back to back to back. Starting with the Game Boy version, which you mentioned I did run it, and I did it on original hardware as well. Oh, let me make sure I don't fail real quick. Okay. I ended up, I started with the Game Boy version, and then before I did that marathon run, I actually like had such a huge problem with the motion controls on the Wii that I kind of like rage quit my run. So I had that one be first, and then it was GameCube, PS2, and then PC to finish it off because that's just my home turf. But yeah, that run lasted just under 16 hours. I got a 15:59:59 to end off that run. Yeah, it was quite the journey to say the least. But I really recommend the Game Boy version if you want like a quick experience of what this game has to offer. Really, I really do think it is a great GBA title, as it has a lot to offer beyond what you'd think. So yeah.
That's awesome.
Any other questions? I know there's been a lot of info dumping throughout this entire run, so I'm sure there's a lot of questions. But
There's been a lot of love in chat too. Like, there's someone came by earlier
great.
that mentioned that they had no idea that this had a game, but they saw the title of it and were like, "We have to watch this."
yeah, there's plenty of people that have. One of our fourth place runner on the boards found one of my speedruns. Like, I think he like watched Summoning Salt or something like that, and that was his only knowledge of speedrunning. And then he ended up like getting third place like just the other day on his fourth ever run. And it's just like, it's crazy that people have no idea about this game until they like see it, and then they're all about it.
That's
It's
awesome.
great to see it. Yeah.
Yeah, it seems
Definitely
like
a lot
there's
of
a
nostalgia as well.
really supportive community too.
Yeah,
Very much so.
I'm really proud of our community that we've created. It's made my heart feel very full because my first ever world record was performed in front of nobody. So to have like the amount of people that we're at now, it's insane to see the amount of people that have truly shown out and shown love for not just for me, but for the game in general. And it's the main reason why this game is on GDQ at the moment, I believe.
Yeah, when I first started running this game, it was back when COVID had like first hit in 2020. Joined the Discord. I was the only one who was technically a quote-unquote active runner. We had maybe 40 members in the Discord. And just seeing what it's grown into now with over 500 members in the Discord, a bunch of different active runners, a bunch of people talking and just participating in this game every day. It's truly awesome to see the amount of growth and love that this community has for this game.
Aww. You love to see it.
You really do. Alright, and that will finally end the last joyride. Yeah, like I said, that mission is like arguably everyone's like least favorite, as you do have to follow those kids all the way to their houses. But luckily, we are basically on the very end of the game. Really, we have about 5 missions left now. So we are going to just see how quickly we can do these missions. The next one, oh, I could have performed B farm clip there, but it's okay. The next one is going to be the final golf. We love golf in this house, so, you know, we are going to just appreciate every last hole while we can. For the most part, though, this last golf is usually on really good runs. It's the one that makes me the most nervous. And then it is followed by yet another timed mission. Luckily, that will be the last timed mission. And then from there, it is three after that. So we are getting very close to the end here. This has been a really good run, though, so far. I'm really happy with a lot of the things that's been going on within it.
Indeed, it has been.
The only unfortunate thing being the clips that I was talking about that I did want to hit. Those are just so inconsistent, and recently I found out that they're really like frame rate based, and I do have my frame rate at the max it can go without having any issues with the game itself. So that's partially why it didn't really work out in my favor, but it's all good.
About around
The last
Alright.
and final golf.
Here we go. Let's see how it goes.
four.
Okay. I will never not like grab the ball at least once in a run after throwing it full power. It's great. Can we get in before the monkey sound? Oh, great.
All right.
All right, and once again, we're going to be performing this hole 11 skip here just because it is very easy to recreate here. It's as simple as throwing the ball into the corner and then going on the other side and then grabbing it, and it's just that easy. That trick actually used to stump me a good bit. I feel like for a long time it was really hard to figure out what to do. And then just like with anything, any strat in any speed game, if you just keep going at it, eventually you will find a breakthrough and have some consistency, hopefully. We're hoping that will be the case with Joyride 3 skip one day, as that is the big time save that would really change how the run is played. Alright. No hiccups on this pipe. Let's see. Yeah, no. No good bounces, unfortunately.
Woohoo!
I love watching this golf so much.
Four.
It's such a fun time.
It's so good.
Both to play and to watch. It's a lot of fun.
Like, I just kind of want to play this golf course in this style. It seems very fun.
Highly recommend it.
Okay.
What was that? Okay. So
Hey.
to go back to the marathon run, something similar did happen in that run where the ball went over the fence, but we have not been able to recreate it at all on PC. So that was the first time that's ever happened in a run ever.
Every event run, it seems like we get something new.
Oh my god, dude, that is crazy. Sorry, that is just really funny. Okay. Decent hole 14. Obviously, hole in one would have made that very clean. I'm sure the community members are just like losing their minds in the chat right now.
Chat's going off right now.
Yeah. Okay. Wow, that was really something, man. Okay. So yeah, we're gonna hope that this 15 goes well. Okay, really bad so far. All right, lock in, lock in. So that is what you want to happen, where the ball will go through 2 ramps with just 1 throw. I gotta do it again. Dang it. Okay, what am I doing? That hole 13 really threw me off, though. That was something else. I'm gonna be excited to watch that back over and over again. Yeah, so 15, the way that the ball went through the 2 ramps was really optimal. If we can get that every single time, that would be lovely, but unfortunately, that is not the way it rolls sometimes, so let's see if we can get good RNG here to go for that risky setup. Nope, we cannot. So we're just gonna go back to our bread and butter here with Eratix's nice clean setup here. Really, it's become a huge part of... Eratix has been a huge part of why the golfs have become very optimized. Thanks to not just this trick alone, but the ideas that I've... for other holes that I've had just because of this one simple reroute. It's caused me to look at every hole from a different angle, and it's caused this this mission to become really, really fast compared to how it used to be played. Eventually. Okay. And now we will be moving on to 17, and we will hope that this trick will go good again. Every single time I get to this point, I'm always so scared because although I found this trick, I know how inconsistent and weird it can be. And of course, I get it on the first throw, so just disregard anything I just said. Hopefully it goes through the loop. Unfortunate. Okay. I did not know where the ball was gonna go. But yeah, go ahead.
I said a mystery.
Yeah. Going this way, even if it is like a little slower, really beats having to go around the entire course. So, you know, as much time as we might lose off of little like things like that, at the very least, the run is not 2 minutes longer without that trick. So, despite the troubles I may have with it, it is, you know, it's basically my baby. Just because I did come up with it, and that is not a great way to start this hole. So hole 18 actually is the hardest one in terms of the precision golfs to do, just because of the little amounts of strokes they give you to use. But we did actually get the loop throw there. That was really clean, so I'm really happy that went well, at least one of these times. And we should be finishing this golf at a pretty decent time here. Oh, okay. I'm gonna just play it a little safe. Normally I try to full throw the ball through that first ramp into this chicken coop ramp, and then usually it might, not usually, but sometimes it goes all the way up and into the hole, but it's a very inconsistent throw, and I haven't been able to do it for quite some time now, so not the end of the world, but could be faster, of course. But we are coming down to the last 3 chapters here. We are currently on the 7th.
Catch you later.
But we are coming to the end of this chapter in particular with this next timed mission, everyone's favorite when it comes to speedrunning. So we just have one more. Ooh, that was nice. But we do have just one more timed mission here. So just like the first two, just like Freddy's Dream as well as the Raccoon Defense, we're going to be defending intruders from the chicken coop. Those intruders being the coyotes. So the coyotes are now our biggest ops, if you will. So we just got to make sure that we don't let them either hit us 5 times, as we do get 5 lives during this mission, or we just do not let them steal as many chicks as they would want to. But yeah, pretty slow mission. So we're just gonna be. I think I'm gonna use this time to probably just say thank you to the community again for really helping push this run to the point of where it is right now, and all the support that's been going on in the community over the past week has been really overwhelming in the best way possible. And it's also a huge thanks to my friends and family for helping me get to this point, especially my girlfriend, who has pushed me to stream a lot more and get this game down to sub 3. She didn't directly push me to get this game to sub 3 because, you know, that takes away time I can spend with her. But she really did help me in terms of confidence in returning back to streaming when I did, and really pushing this game down. And really huge thanks to Randy as well, as he was the original motivator when he did join the community. He was trying to go for my record, which has led me to like really grind the game down. And then it was Meekmos right after him, who actually stole the record 3 times. Since the last time he stole it, though, he has not really returned back to the game. But Randy and Meekmos are really just a huge help in terms of motivating me, and especially the fact that Meekmos does not stream his runs. So I was always scared that he'd just show up out of nowhere with a brand new record. But yeah, the community has really been a huge help in terms of bettering my mental health, as well as being a nice safe place for people to join and enjoy just this really goofy, silly game.
Shout out to you, my man, for being the spearhead to really push this game too. Honestly.
I wasn't gonna say it. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, no.
Don't worry, I will.
I've really done my best to just stay self-motivated and push this game down as much as I can. And now we've reached the point where 256 is possible. Currently, the record stands as 257.38, and that minute barrier is honestly not too far off given the right circumstances of RNG as well as skillful golfs. So we're not stopping yet.
Put it in perspective, back when I joined in 2020, I believe that the world record was held by you at the time, and it was, what, 3 hours, 17 minutes, I want to say?
Somewhere around there, yeah. Sounds right.
Yeah. Insane amount of progress and improvement over the last 5 years.
20 whole minutes. The real goal, though, is getting that sub 2 hours, you know?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
that's going to happen.
We said the same thing about sub 3, so.
Yeah, true. You never know. So, you know, this game is very broken, I must say. So, anyone that is interested in running it, we do have the game download in our Discord. If you really want to join and try this game out for yourself. Glitches, I'm sure there's plenty of glitches that are just hiding just in plain sight that we have yet to even discover. So, a fresh perspective will always give us a nice shot at saving more time on this run.
That official Discord can be found on the Barnyard speedrunning page on speedrun.com. So if anybody is interested in joining, you can find the link there.
All right, and with that, we have just 3 more missions after this chapter is done. So the first mission is somewhat of a repeat, just in a different spot. We're going to be stomping holes. We're going to be stopping holes for miles. For some reason, the raccoons, despite them wanting to steal our vegetables, cut off the water line to the vegetables. So they're kind of like hurting themselves. It doesn't really make sense. Miles basically says, I never said they were smart when he explains what happened. Which really just, yeah, that really puts it nicely. Paraphrases it nicely, I should say. But instead of using a flower for this one, we are gonna actually do the jumping animation skip, as picking up a flower is a little slower than just simply going around and doing the stomping on the very on these holes here. All right, we're gonna just hop up on the bike. So yeah, he basically just said, I never said they were smart, use the metal detector. Yeah, normally, I forgot to mention, on these missions, normally you have to use the metal detector, and you have to walk around, and basically the water pipes are like a yellow radar kind of thing, so that's how you know like you're on the right path, is if you're like following like a line that's like just full yellow on the metal detector instead of like green or red. But obviously we're speedrunners, so we already know what we're going to be doing. So we just simply go around the dandelion meadows and just stomp these holes. And just like the other one, we don't have to do an animation skip for this one, as we will instantly fade to black once we do interact with the hole itself. And now we are on to the final 2 missions here. So this first one is actually going to be a repeat of the first cow tipping mission, where those kids were trying to tip over the cows. So this time around, it's actually going to be the raccoons. And the great thing about the fact that they're raccoons is that they're actually all one-shot. So we don't even have to worry about the RNG of the crates giving us good power-ups. The only RNG we have to keep account of is the spawn rate of the raccoons themselves. So this mission is actually pretty easy. It's just you have to just hope that the game is going to give you good spawn rates. You probably could save time if you got like the super tomato power up in the middle of it, but honestly, I don't really like. I'm not a huge fan of like adding more RNG elements to this mission, at least not yet, until I need to really grind down this time. But we'll save that for later. And the glorious thing about this mission is that we will be able to leave our save file and re-enter it right after, to save us a nice 10 seconds, so we don't even have to place the bike in any set direction. We can simply just fall off and talk to Bessie here.
That was something that took us a longer time to figure out than I feel it should have, but
Definitely. Sweet. So like I said, first 4 spawns are always the same. It's always the top there, the right, and then the spot right over there as well. So that's always a nice consistent part of this mission, whether it be this second one or the first one with the kids. But yeah, for the most part, we're going to just be doing the animation, the reload animation skip, as that will be our main time save throughout this mission. Okay, a bit unlucky on these spawn rates right now, unfortunately. Let's hope one spawns on the left here. Thank goodness.
Over here.
Right, and for the most part, if they're not spawning on the very left or the other spot right over there, they're always going to spawn from the veggie patch area, so you always can just count on that. Count on the fact that they're going to be at the very top there. Oh. Almost forgot there's a coyote in this mission for a second. Alright, so we're actually on a pretty good pace right now. Okay, well, I'm just going to leave that one be. Sometimes, one of the main things that we really haven't had to deal with for the most part on this mission is that the lock-on mechanic kind of, like, glitches out a little bit at times. So sometimes, like, you'll shoot at a specific raccoon, but it won't actually, like, the tomatoes won't actually go towards that raccoon. And I think this is the last one right here, actually. And that can lose you a good bit of time depending on how well your RNG is going, and especially if, like, for example, let's say a raccoon that was already hit with a tomato is still, like, or standing right next to one that hasn't been hit. It'll basically, like, stop it from being hit, like, repeatedly. So it's just not it's not very good. And I just want to say really quickly, I ended up just getting a 252 sum of best off of that split. So that's actually really huge.
Very nice.
Nice.
All right. Anyways, we are on to the last mission here. And one thing we're going to do quickly here, we're going to spam the spacebar here during the loading screen. Whenever you re-enter a save file, you do a yawning animation, and if you jump, it just cancels it. So we just do that real quickly there. But we are going to talk to Daisy over here, see what's up. Basically, Otis in the 8th chapter went away, and we don't know where he went, and we just found out where he went. And he's actually at the junkyard. So now we are on to the final mission. And I will... time will end on the 3rd phase. I will say around when that is. It'll basically say the words "nice run" on screen. It used to say "you win," but the Infinite Core, who created this mod, made it say "nice run" at the very last mission, which I appreciate. Unless it's not a good run, in which case I don't appreciate it. But this has been a very good run, so I'll be happy to see that. The main thing you have to worry about on this one is also the spawn rates of the coyotes, so that was pretty good. But they'll spawn in a bunch of different locations. Dag kind of works on a timer here, this red coyote, and you kind of just have to predict where he's going to be next. Obviously, we're not going to get lucky every single time, but that was still fairly good. When you hit him with a tomato and he has the barrel in his hand, that will do the most amount of damage. Okay, we got a bit unlucky about that spawn. But hitting him with the barrel in his hand will be the most optimal way to rack up a ton of damage on him. You can also hit him with just a regular tomato, but for the most part, it's not very... it doesn't do a lot of damage, but it can at least chip away at his health. So it's never a bad thing to do that. But we are coming... This is the 2nd phase, actually. We're not even close to the end yet. Never mind. Ignore my words. Really optimal, though. Hopefully he spawns again. A bit unfortunate. Unless he does one more spawn? No. Okay. So the next time he comes in will be close to the end of time here. So we've got to just make sure that we get these spawns here real quick. Let's see. Yeah, okay. Oh, and yeah. So the main thing about this mission is that you have to really keep count of the tomatoes in the bottom right. That way you can perform the reload animation properly, or the skip properly. It ends here? Nope, not yet. We're close to the end here, though. After these next set of coyotes, we should be good. Okay, it ends here. Alright, getting close to time here. 1. Run! Time, I mean.
GG.
GG. Wow.
Good game.
Last we saw those coyotes.
Yeah, so that was, despite the technical issues that we had
And the
towards the
dad as
start, that
well.
was a very,
That night,
very good run. I'm
Daisy
very happy with how that
gave
went.
birth to a little bit. Otis kept
Do you have any
Yeah.
additional shout outs for?
Let's see. My mom, my dad, my brother, my girlfriend, my friends, the Barnyard community. I continue. I'm gonna plan on continuing playing this game and grinding it down as much as I can. So check me out on my Twitch channel. It's 2 V's instead of a W because someone took the W for my WhatsApp account. But aside from that, just a huge thanks to the community for making this possible, and huge thanks to GDQ as well for allowing me to be on their channel and showcase this amazing run.
Of course. Thank you so much for being here. It was an amazing run. Now, chat, don't go anywhere because we have more coming up after the break. Stay tuned for Passion Project right after the upcoming break.